The opposite.
Then why is that?
No, just...
They did the Polish flag backwards.
I don't know, Joshua.
National flag. I don't care. U.S. I'm from the U.S., guys.
Hi.
You South African.
Hello. You see, we're online.
Nationality. I'm from the U.S. Actually not.
No, get rid of that flag, Josh.
Why?
No waste money on flags. Hello, hello, how are you?
We got nothing back.
Hey everybody, it's Karmali. How are you all doing?
Sure.
Good to see you all. I'm in bright, sunny San Diego. Check that was a push a damn button. Check this out. Let's see if you can see outside. It is. Nick got a beautiful room here.
Nice.
Yeah. We got what we call the layer in the sky in San Diego. We rented a house. It's probably probably $4 or $5 million house, 5
Nice.
bedrooms. Like by the time we did the math and everything else, it was actually cheaper to stay at the house than it was in the hotel. And this thing just overlooks the city. The sunset is amazing. We're gonna have some great people over, so it'll be fun. It'll be really, really, really fun tonight. So anyway, how's everybody else doing today?
Awesome.
Good. Is my Wi-Fi speed okay here? Like, can you can see me all right and everything else?
Perfect.
Yep. Good. Hey, Robert, how are you? Good to see you, sir.
Good, I'm here.
All right. So, well, there's one thing I was going to show you. Let me pull this up here real quick, and then we'll dive into questions. Have you guys seen? Well, here, let me just. We have a couple other people joining, so I'm going to pull up a document here real quick just to share with everybody. Let's see here. Where is it? I'll give you guys a PDF of this as well, too. Let's see here. Open recent. All right.
Let me place it a little more.
I'm going to put duplicate. Just a moment, then I'm going to share my screen. The idea, factory, top grounds group. Just a minute, I'm just pulling up this document. You'll see, I'll share my screen in just a moment.
But they can't spawn there. Plus cheap.
And just make sure, everybody, for me, you guys got your phones muted out if you're not coming on live, just to make it easy.
Don't sell these because they're really beautiful.
Whoa! Just accidentally hit a button and deleted half of my slides that I was just going to show you. All right.
I want to get all the national.
That's not bad. For up front, and they haven't even opened it yet, right? Good. Hey, Robert, I just muted you out for a second just because there's background noise. You can always unmute yourself. I just want to let you know. Let's see here. Yep. All right. Now, I am going to give you guys access to a document that I know is really going to help. And then I had some other template documents that I want to show you to work with you on if I just don't accidentally delete everything. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and save and then export to PDF. Dropbox. And where are we at? I know you guys are watching me talking to myself, but I promise it's going to be definitely worth it. All right. So we have, I'm going to share this first Dropbox link with you. This is going to be inside of the chat on Zoom. So that link right there is going to be able to download the document that I'm going to go over here in just a moment. I'm also going to do a couple of links that I want to give you. Let's see here, where are we at? Looking for 2 other documents. Here's the headline creator tool. I may have shared you with this before, but it's very important that you have this. So this is the headline tool. Whoops. Headline split testing, which I'm going to go over. All right, we have that, and there's one more I need to grab for you all as well too. There's one more. I want to make sure. I have something on scaling I want to share with you here real quick. Thought I had all this lined up right before we all jumped on. It's all right. Origins. No. You guys can kind of look at that PDF document that I sent you here for just a second as well. It's the main thing that we're going to cover and go over today. Here we go. This is what we call the magic money box as well. Magic money box for funnel that I'm going to go over for our funnel and LTV. There's that document for everybody. Then I'll send these all. So if you guys are listening to the recording, everybody will get those as well too. And I believe that is it. We'll check here real quick. Yep. Okay. So those are the main three documents. Here real quick, and perfect. All right. So just let everybody know I put everybody on mute just so it wasn't any background noise. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's go ahead and share the screen right here, and let's make this easy so we don't get disturbed. Quit on that, and quit on Skype. All right. So here's what we basically have. Again, this is why I wanted to send you the PDF, because I really want to talk about lifetime value, especially with running ads. I'm not here, and I'm going to turn off my my camera too, just because I only have one screen today, so it's a little weird. Stop video. Okay, there we go. I'm not here in traffic and conversion, and basically the thing is they're just talking about content more than anything else, and really marketing content. Pretty soon gone are going to be the days of, hey, let's just run stuff to a landing page and hope they opt in. It's really going to be all about congruency and content, and I've talked about a lot of this stuff before. So let's talk about the 4 keystones here real quick. And again, this is just a real quick review because I'm going to reference this over and over. I talked about this before, but I didn't have all the presentation put together, so I figured this would be really good for everybody. So we have the 4 keystones of the foundation. So everything I talk about in the SMAG Profit Factory, which is really how we quantify the LTV for follow-up processes, right? We're going to quantify the lifetime value, so we're making sure that we're always increasing the lifetime value of the lead that we're acquiring. Now, the other thing is I want you to keep in mind that a qualified click, that you look through your avatar, and I'll explain a little bit more in a minute. Remember, a qualified click is just as good as a qualified opt-in if you keep running traffic. If it's a qualified click and you start and stop traffic, well, the problem is that people aren't going to see the content on a regular basis, and quite honestly, is Facebook and Google and LinkedIn and Twitter, they're all working on the same thing where, like I've mentioned before, is they want to make sure that the content is 100% congruent for the audience. So the principles that I've written down in here are really universal. And again, you guys are seeing a training, getting access to a training that's not available to the general public. It's something we'll probably be selling for like $1,000 by the time we get done with it. And I believe all you guys have access. I think everybody here on the call has Social Media Ad Genius. If you have Social Media Ad Genius, we actually give you access to the early version of our Profit Factory right now. But basically what we do is, the 4 universal kind of laws or keystones that we work with is as long as you have a product, service, message, or idea that you can monetize, then we can really start working on this, right? And everybody here on the call has that. Number 2 is the perfect customer and avatar. Now, we know that there are different profiles of your avatar. It doesn't have to be just one single avatar, but we want to be able to narrow it down, of course, to see who is our ideal person and our perfect person that we want to attract into our business or organization. And then, of course, we have the SMAG Profit Factory that we're going to go over the quantifiable steps here in just a moment. And, of course, proof. I mean, the thing is Todd has that tracking software that he's come out with, which is great. I mean, it really helps keep track of the lifetime value of the customer, knowing what ad works and what doesn't. The problem is when people set up ads a lot of the time, they don't necessarily have the tracking set up, so they'll run $100 or $200 or $300. And I know I've been in the same place, and I assume a lot of you have been as well too. And you run $300, you're like, I don't really know what happened. I didn't make a sale, but I don't know what really happened. And it's like I tell clients all the time. It's like, just because you didn't make a sale and you spent $300 or $400, let's say your product's $900, or let's say your product's $97, right? So you spent 3 extra product. Well, the thing is we're always constantly learning from those qualified clicks that are coming in. And if they're qualified clicks, I want to keep following up with them like I would my email autoresponder. Except I don't know how far I need to go or how many clicks there are until someone buys unless I have everything tracked. So I really encourage people to hook up Google Analytics or use Todd's system that he has now for tracking, which I absolutely just love. But make sure tracking's in place, and not only just with Facebook, because remember, tracking can be off up to almost 20%. But we got to have that proof. It's going to help eliminate fear, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well too. So really, when we take a look at the Profit Factory, here are all the proven steps, and then we'll talk about eliminating fear here in a second. So we want to have, why did this skip? Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's interesting. Let me see here just a second. So this is Talman, Andre, Snag Webbo, Chrome, Shecky retargeting. There is one slide that I'm missing out of here. Hang on one second. I can stop screen share. This is important because it lists out all the steps for you. That is in a PowerPoint. Just a moment. Where is the PowerPoint? Here we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. All right. And here we go. All right. Everybody? All right. Everybody can still hear me? Yes? Nod your head for me. Just the line. Okay, perfect. The line was kind of fuzzy, and then all of a sudden it went dead silent. So it either has a great clarity on the line or it hung up on me. But it's good. All right. Perfect. So let's take a look and bring up my screen here. All right. Share screen. And share screen. All right. So, all right, 4 keystones. We're talking about the Profit Factory. So here are really the steps. We're going to start from the very bottom, right? We have a product, service, or message. And all of these we're just going to do one step at a time, right? So I just really want you to focus on, as we're going through this and you're kind of looking at your own funnel, let's just think of one step at a time. So all of you already have a product, service, or message identified, clearly identified avatar, great. Make sure you're always testing 4 different interest clusters, or what we call 4 different affinity audiences, right? Kind of like we had talked about, Craig, in the past is, doing the right sports mindset training. One might be baseball, another one might be soccer. Or, one target may be a high school coach, another target may be a college coach. So we're looking for stuff that's, has close similarities. But we want to test out these similarities to see what variation of our avatar is going to relate best to our hooks and our copy. Now we want to run ads. We want to run ads basically to the landing page, right, and start to split test. So what's going to happen is we have to identify our interest group obviously before we start running ads. Once we start running ads to what we call our core audience, we start split testing. So again, we're only at step 4. A lot of people stop when they just by running ads and it just doesn't work for them. It's because they're missing so much of the puzzle. So the next step is we're going to start with retargeting and custom audiences, right? We're going to make sure that if we have any email addresses or phone numbers, we're going to upload those lists first so Facebook can start to learn to create similar audiences. Or at least when you're running traffic, you want to make sure your pixels are in place, because the retargeting and the custom audience, that's what's really going to help. That's what's really going to help expand your audience and keep driving for more traffic, being able to scale. Now, notice we talk about running the core ads and setting up retargeting, and then we talk about the landing page. Quite honestly, the reason we do this is we want you to have it all set up. So when you start running, when you start running ads, you can start quantifying everything. But really the first part is obviously setting up the ads, start to run the targeting, and then we come into landing page performance after we have retargeting set up. Now, I call it a landing page or a welcome page, because this welcome page literally could be not just a landing page you're sending people to and they opt in right away. Like for Craig, it could just be a video of Craig, or it could go to a blog post that talks about mindset with a video that Craig put together. He put together a really good emotional video. So you may send people there first, and then you may retarget onto an article that, like, I don't know, maybe CNN wrote, right, about mindset and how important it is for sports. So you're getting some third-party validation. Well, the landing page doesn't have to be the opt-in page. The landing page could just be the first experience. Now remember, if we go back to the regular marketing or the old marketing adage, which is still true today, someone's going to have to see your content 5, 6, 7 times before they're really willing to make a decision. And I just tell people, gone are the days where you run straight to an opt-in. You guys have heard that over and over and over. So we really want to take a look at that landing page, the opt-in page. Now, the next one is follow-up process. So they're going to hit the landing page. Well, if they're qualified clicks, if you've already focused, again, on all these other areas down here, right? Now we're going to talk about the follow-up process after the landing page. So really, let's just look at this just real quick. We're talking about steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the 7th step, the follow-up process, we've already gone through 6 steps, right? So we've already done the work. So our clicks should be qualified like a lead, because we've already put these all other 6 steps before. So the follow-up process, of course, we're going to take a look at email. But we also have to take a look at retargeting. We're going to have to make sure, do we have retargeting set up that's going to help sell our first offer, right? Whatever we're selling first. And we're going to have to provide supporting documentation, whether that be blogs, content, or testimonials, to assist people in making a decision. So the follow-up process here, again, I want you to think of emails and how are you going to follow up with retargeting, right? And this is follow-up for buyers, non-buyers, opt-ins, and even non-opt-ins. So we want to start kind of thinking about segmenting out our traffic. How can we follow up with people properly, whether they opt in or not? They didn't hit a page. What's the next part of the follow-up experience that we'd like to have? Now, what a lot of people do is they stop at this process. They're like, well, I sent 7 emails. I turned on retargeting for 7 days. I'm sending traffic. I spent $300. My product's $97, and I didn't sell anything, so I don't know what to do. Well, if you already spent $300, you have qualified clicks. Let's just say there's 300 qualified clicks. Now we got to figure out what else should we send them. And a lot of people are like, I only put up 1 or 2 retargeting ads, and I send 7 emails. And if they don't buy, I don't really know what to do. Well, again, I've said this before, just because they said no once doesn't mean they said no forever. So what you really want to focus on as well, too, is you want to figure out, okay, what can you do for weekly content? Like many of you may already know that, excuse me real quick, I'm going to sneeze. Many of you may already know that, I don't know, it must be allergies. Okay. So many of you already know that, follow-up is going to be really important. And a small percentage of your audience may buy the first time that they see. Like, if you're really good, 3% of your audience will be the first time that they see your offer. Typically, it's like 1.5 to 2% for a complete cold audience to buy. Well, on a weekly content strategy, we want to be able to follow up and remind these people. And you'll start to see, and many of you probably already have, that people will say, oh my goodness, I followed you for months, and it was that one article, or it was that one video you did, or it was that one webinar that made all the difference, and that's why I signed up. So we want to give people regular content with good experiences. Well, some people are like, well, I got to write a 45-day follow-up process before I start sending traffic. No, you can really write a 4 or 5-day follow-up process for email, and then do regular broadcast emails. You do the same thing for ads. So I'll give you a perfect example here. Actually, I'll walk through this and I'll show you how we're doing it live. So what we want to do is we want to figure out what can we do for weekly content. So like what we do here is we pick a topic for the week. We write a blog post on Sunday. I'll show you how to do this. You can take a screenshot of it. And we have a blab on Monday, and then on Wednesday we have our breakout webinar session. And what we're doing is we're selling Social Media Ad Genius 2.0 for either $97 a month or $497 for the year. Now, what's interesting, I was just talking to Nick, we're seeing people daily, a couple people a day, $97. They just kind of come out of nowhere. They've been watching some of our content, and it's really quickly building our residual. And just something to think about real quick while I'm talking about the weekly content and the residual that we have. Before, Nick and I only sold Social Media Ad Genius for $297. We did do 3 monthly payments of $97. Just FYI, like when you do 3 pacings, a lot of people pay first and second, but the third somehow kind of falls off. Not really quite sure why that is. But the thing is what's happened now is when someone buys once, let's say you make 10 grand in a month, right? You're like, hey, that's great, I made 10 grand. Well, the thing is it's one time, so now you can go out and find a bunch of new customers. But at $97 a month, it's really interesting. We're seeing it compound up. So every single month, it's like, wow, we already have payroll covered. We already have payroll and other office expenses covered. And then we're still selling. So instead of these chunks, right, we pay somebody a salary and they just get paid once, now we're seeing the money come in every single month. So it's just something to consider as you're talking about, as you're kind of thinking about different products and services that you offer. So I'll show you the schedule here in a second. So we do the weekly content. Now, every single week, we're building some type of event, right? So every week, we have a breakout session, a webinar. Yours could be a 10% off special. Yours could be a special meditation. You could do a special training. But you got to have something where you have a weekly event or a weekly call to action. Doesn't mean it has to be live. It could be a sale, a special. Just think, what am I going to do this week for content? What's going to be the weekly event, right? Are people going to show up for something? Again, this could be a webinar or a VSL or an affiliate offer or a special that you're going to run. Or heck, it could be like, for instance, like us, Social Media Ad Genius. We just take 3 videos out of Social Media Ad Genius and we could sell them for $7, right? That might be an event that we have for the week, $7 offer. Well, again, I want to make sure that I'm going to follow up with buyers and non-buys. And this is going to be through email and it's going to be through ads. So I really want to think through the experience of what is my follow-up for someone who bought or who did not buy. Now, the most important thing that I see so many people miss is, second to the last step, is additional products and services. See, the reason that I wrote the follow-up process content, the weekly content, weekly event call to action, is because most people aren't constantly selling. Now, I know the selling word, some people are like, I kind of get nervous doing that. I don't want to necessarily sell. It's in my opinion, well, you guys have heard me say this before, if I'm not constantly offering my customers an opportunity to participate with me to buy educational materials for them to grow their business, then I am doing a disservice for my audience. I really am. So I could charge $297 for Social Media Ad Genius 2.0, for example, or maybe it's not ready for somebody right now. Maybe they just don't have the confidence that they can run ads. But maybe if I show them a $7 video that has 3 videos that really help them get started, maybe then they would consider purchasing. But I'm doing a service by following up with that person, offering the $7 because it's a lower part of entry, and I don't have to create a whole brand new product. So when I say additional products and services, Todd said this at an event, that if you double, many times if you double your offers, you quadruple your income. But remember, you don't have to create an entirely new product, just a new offer. So it could be 1 or 2 videos from inside of your training program. It could be 1 or 2 coaching calls from you. It could be a simple template like I gave you guys for the headline creator tool. So always think about these additional products and services. So you always have some type of call to action. So every single week, you should be offering your community something that can benefit them. And then at the end of the day, as you're running consistent traffic, you're going to leverage the artificial intelligence of the ad platform, right? So really, if you're following all of these 17 steps on a consistent basis, it really starts to build. Now we can take a look at analytics and find out, okay, is males 35 to 55 performing better than females 35 to 40? What states are performing best? What are we seeing on cell phones? What are we what are we seeing? What are we seeing people click on specifically? And it's going to help us follow up. Now, I'm going to show you a great content strategy here in just a second. They're talking about here at Digital Marketer. I got some inside access to some of the new fun stuff I'm working on, and I think you guys are really going to like this. I'll show you the demonstration here in just a second. I'm just going to pull this up just to see if there's any questions so far. Nope, doesn't. Perfect. Great. All right, so let's take a look at all right, so let's see here. Really, I'll go through this really quick. Everybody pretty much has a clearly defined avatar, and everybody has a copy of this as well too. Identify at least 4 interest clusters. Again, affinity marketing. We want to look at some broad categories: interest, likes, marital status. Again, we're always split testing, right? We want to target those interests. We want to start targeting the interest clusters, and we'll start split testing headlines, pictures, ad copy, and congruency. Remember, we want to be really congruent with our audience. So we're going to do that in 2 different ways. The one is if you click on the headline split testing tool that we have, that I put a link inside the chat box for. There's a couple of different resources I want to give you here. All right. So I'm just going to, can I? Oh, I can't click in here, can I? Okay, that's fine. It's just hit open. Be just a moment. Excel online. Great. Microsoft always makes it so easy to work with their stuff. Let's see here. I sound like my brother, but I am pretty addicted to this Mac thing. All right. Yes. Maybe a little hard to see, but if I do, should be Zoom. All right. So I'll go over this here just real quick, but you'll see that you have Facebook right-hand side, Facebook mobile, and well, that's interesting. Uh-oh, it's missing desktop. Well, now I'm going to fix that real quick for you because I just made one of these for a client. All right. I'm going to give you inside access to one of our, well, not a client's account, but if you take a look inside of our, where are we at? If you take a look inside the chat, which, back to meeting, here's contacts, oh, here's chat. Hang on one second, I'm having an issue. This is so weird. I'm having an issue where I'm not seeing our faces or the group. Just a moment, I'm having some technical difficulties. It's weird. Okay, now I'm starting to see it. Participants, mute. There we go. All right. Okay, let's go back in here. Now, if you all, yes. I mean this. Oops, send to everyone. Use this link for the ad copy. Nick, did you get my message about Henry's party? Six-pack shortcuts? We need to run up there. No, when I'm done with this, we're going to run up there. I will. Thanks, brother. Okay. All right. So the link that I just sent everybody inside the chat is for a client we call the Urban Monk. I'm going to give you one other. Might as well just give you access and just kind of show you what we have going on here. Now, if you have, if you have PowerPoint, I'm going to show you these templates that I made here real quick. All right, share screen and templates. Templates for ads, examples. All right, so let me show you what I got over here. So basically what I have is I've used this split testing tool where you can see Facebook desktop, maybe kind of hard to see on your side of the screen, but you'll be able to download it. So see what happens is we name all of our copy, for instance, like CO1, CO2, CO3. So what happens is when we name our campaigns, it may be targeted to the interest cluster of entrepreneur. So basically our tagline would be entrepreneur, right? Or when we would name the campaign, entrepreneur dash desktop, and then we would have the age range, and then we would have like C1 for like copy 1, P2, picture 2. So what we can do is we can instead of like having to have this really long name, what we can do is we can make it really easy and we can see, okay, what exact ad copy is working for us. So when we're running a report, we're like, oh, C5 copy is doing great, along with P4, and look at the P4 what the picture is. It's actually a pretty easy and quick way to make the whole thing happen. So again, we'll go over more of that here in just a couple of minutes. That's interesting. I'm trying to plug my phone in and it just keeps buzzing, which is really weird. It looks like things are going to blow up. That must mean there's a short in the cord. That's an interesting day for technical difficulties. Well, I guess that's not going to happen. Okay. I pulled up a picture of my porch. What do you know? All right. Sorry about that. All right. So here you can see how we name our copy, right? And then this is just what we put for the campaign. So for instance, this is book promotion. And then what is our ad group called? So our ad group here is just cold audience. For example, for this client, this goes to a cold audience. This goes to celebrity because, good thing I can spell right. But he has some celebrity friends in a picture. I'll show you here in just a second. And then he's already launched a product. So these are to people who already knows who this person is. So we have a cold audience. There's some celebrities that's endorsing this person's book. They're going to be a New York Times bestseller. We're going to help them be a bestseller, a New York Times bestseller by the end of the week. And basically what we have is, we have, okay, these people right here. I think I'm going to go a little bit larger so I can show you this. All right, there we go. So I'm targeting a brand new cold audience, somebody who's never heard of this guy before, okay? The next thing that I'm targeting is kind of like an affinity group. Okay, well, he has some celebrities who are endorsing him, so let's go ahead and target the celebrities fans with their picture with our author. And then, like I said, the author is already well known, so we're going to target his people, letting them know what's going on as well, too. Now, I will say it's kind of one of the interesting things about this account. I was actually called about this account because I had met this person at a mastermind event on top of a mountain. And they called me and they're like, hey, Kurt, the current person that's running my ads, they're targeting 18 to 55 in the United States only. My avatar is 35 to 55. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Not only are those wasted clicks, but the thing is remember how you split test out ads in an ad set that I've shown the examples for before, where like Facebook will just run, you know, 1 or 2 ads and there might be 4 like images in an ad set, but they're only running like 1 or 2. Well, they kind of do the same thing with age ranges. So if they see a bunch of 18-year-olds clicking on your ad but not buying, they're going to serve that ad because they think more people are clicking on your ad. They're going to serve that to the 18-year-old group. So if you're targeting like 18 to 55 or 18 to 65 and you don't change the age range, you may be surprised if you look at it after a week. Facebook is going to run a large majority of the traffic, whatever age range clicking on it the most. Facebook's trying to figure out the traffic for you, not just target all 18 to just 65. So the thing is he was doing a disservice to the clients. We really want to take a look and make sure we know our core audience. The second thing is we want to look at that affinity again. So how may people know him? How can we get third-party accreditation to help drive some clicks? And then, of course, if people already know you, it's great how you're going to write the copy, you know, really just talking about, hey, I got another product for it. So you can see the example here is in the body. By the way, when you type in the headlines, right, it says max 25 characters, so it'll actually count how many characters are in your headline. So that way you can just copy and paste. It works the same thing with mobile, right? Same thing with right-hand side. We even have a Google AdWords template, Twitter ads template as well too. So what happens is you can see, for example, in the cold audience, you can see how I write these differently. Now, the max for the body text, just FYI, is 90 characters. However, if you edit it inside a Power Editor, you know, you can write more. So what I did is I just highlighted in yellow so the person uploading the ads knew, okay, so this is going to be 83 characters, so I can do this inside of Ads Manager. Well, if it's a little bit longer, they're going to have to do it inside of Power Editor. So you can see here, it's called the Urban Monk, Eastern Wisdom and Modern Hacks to Stop Time and Focus, Success, Happiness, and Peace. Great. Join the 7-day reboot. There's the link description. We have the max and then the display link, right? Again, another cold audience. What is the Urban Monk? People like questions. So it's a 7-day reboot to boost your energy, sharpens focus, and calms your mind. Urban Monk 7-day reboot. People are like, well, what's that? Well, we're just using off the landing page and telling people to get started in just 7 days. We're giving quantifiable numbers. You know, that's why sometimes people will say checks of $68,322 versus I made over 10 grand, right? Where I made over 5 grand. So we also like to list out what we call kind of an advertorial. It just tells it tells a story more. Remember, an advertorial is really great inside of Facebook because it looks really congruent if it's written right. Just meaning it almost looks like a news article that's talking about your topic. So, you know, I use Craig's example a lot of mindset training for sports. Well, the thing is mental toughness. You know, the thing is if we can educate people by like recently in CNN, there was a scientific study that was done that shows that the brain can become one of the most powerful attributes an athlete can have because of, and you kind of list out some of those benefits, right? But it's more of an educational article that someone can read. They're going to read a little bit more, so they're going to spend some more time reading this right here. And then you can see the celebrity group is, hey, join us celebrating Pedram, the urban monk on his powerful 7-day reboot. And I'll show you the pictures we're using from the celebrities. We congratulate Pedram, the urban monk. So we're saying we congratulate, we meaning the celebrities, right? And then people who already know his name's Pedram. So celebrate Pedram, aka the urban monk. So join Pedram because they already know him. So we want to show his name in just the first couple of words, right? So here's what the ad templates looks like. Some people laugh at me for this, but I don't really care. I think it's good. All I basically do is I just use PowerPoint and I make images for my ads. So what I'll actually do is I'll download images that are royalty free. And then what I'll do is I look for, I'll show you here real quick. So just for an example, right, I'm going to go to Google. Let's say I want to take coach. Yeah, just put coach. See what it pulls up. All right, so I'm going to go to images. And then what I would do is I like to go to search tools, color, transparent. See, what happens is, and these are really PNG files. You can look these up on Google. And then again, I want to see your usage rights, labeled for use, labeled for your use. Let's see here. Let's see what this says. So labeled for use. Okay. So this means that we can grab any of these images and we could use these in our ads. So let's just say, I guess these aren't great images, are they? I'm just going to use an example. Let's see. Yep. I don't know if you can see this with a little square dot. So what happens is I can hit copy, and this will just paste. See, it just lays the image right on top of the image. Right? I could play with this all day long, but this is literally how I make my ads. I just kind of put layer pictures on top of pictures. But here's what I basically just have for the ad. Now, if you have a book, by the way, the book can actually take up most of the screen. It does not violate the 20% rule as long as it's a product. Okay? And again, I'm just going to show you the different images that we have. So this one it's not as clear image as the book, and it has their logo down here. Or here it shows kind of a city and just a little bit purple background. Now, if you're not familiar with PowerPoint or you don't really like graphics and you're not really good at it, you can always hire for somebody from Fiverr. But quite honestly, sometimes just really good, clean images that don't even have words on them can work out the best, right? So it really looks like it's what it's in the newsfeed. They had a book signing party, so I just took one of the images from just a happy girl holding the book. Here's just a bunch of women because this really appeals a large segment of their audience as women. This is a girl named JJ Virgin. She's absolutely brilliant, really well known in the health space, and some of the people there as well too. Here's the people who know Pedram, so the author. So we run this ad to people who already know him because they'll recognize the face, they'll know the book. This is just a great fun book as well, or just a great fun way where there's some contrast in the picture as well. So just kind of a different way to look at it. We're running that on mobile. Now, this is JJ Virgin right here. This is Dave Asbury. If you've ever heard of Bulletproof Coffee, this is the Bulletproof Coffee guy. And then we also have Lewis Howes. Lewis Howes is a recent New York Times bestseller. So we take an image like this, and this would be our celebrity image that says, we endorse for support Pedram. Now, let's see here. Close that out. And now we have, hang on one second. Let me try to turn off my chat. And there we go. There's chat. There are always people texting. There's so much stuff going on here, which is great. All right. So we have, here's Pedram signing the book, right? Here is another set of celebrities as well, too. Here's Pedram at the mic. Again, I'm only using this image for people who know him, and I'm split testing a little bit this with a cold audience because I don't know why he just kind of looks like a monk there. Just kind of the look on his face. He's a great guy. Again, one of the other celebrity images. Here's just a group. And again, this would be like if I took this out of here, for example. Let's see here. If I just did this and that. This looks like a picture that you would see posted on Facebook. This is Daniel Hyman, which is a very well-known doctor in the health space. So these guys have, all 5 of these people have a really good following. So using this picture, they're smiling, it's great. There's another kind of life awaits. I just kind of took the backdrops, what was it was like standing next to the book. Let's see here. Yep, and then I'm just going to show you this real quick, not to kind of geek out on it, but it can show you, just kind of give you some different ideas. What will happen is like, I can click on the image. Again, if you have PowerPoint, I'm just going to show you just this once. If I hit right-click and I go to Format Picture, and again, this is if you have Microsoft. If I go to Artistic Filters, I can change the background of the image to make it look like a pencil scale, grayscale, or line drawing. So what happens is I can find images, and just by putting this artistic filter on it, it really changes the image. So again, it just allows me to split test images. So you'll see I just changed the color on a couple of these images just to see what color pops out the most. And you see just a little bit of variation, right? You have bedroom standing next to the book, then you have just the book, then you have the book in the title, then you have just the book, and then book in the title, and then I kind of faded out the back just so this is really clear, and the background's back. And there we go. So this is how I split test out images. There we go. All right, hopefully that was helpful for everybody. So we have the split test the images. I'm going to save that. All right, so the other part I wanted to show you is, now that we've split tested, setup and begin retargeting, right? We talked about the landing page already. Talked about follow-up. We've talked about this a lot lately, but now I have a quantifiable presentation that I can go over with you, right? Now we want to set up our weekly content strategy as well, too. So we want to be consistent. And again, I'm going to show you our schedule here in just a second. But we have consistent emails, blogs that are going out, retargeting. Remember, the retargeting could be on Google or Facebook. That just people just see it over and over and over. Hold that weekly event. Content strategy should also promote events, trainings, giveaways, discounts. Train your audience to attend. Let them know that you have regular events. Again, think about like filling a hotel room. So you don't have to have 1,000 people on a webinar or 100 people on a webinar to make a bunch of money. I mean, really, you can have just 10 or 15 people on a webinar, and as long as you're presenting it clearly and closing, you do great. So, just keep in mind, it's like, would you hold a webinar if 10 people were standing in front of you? Or would you hold a hotel meeting if 10 people showed up to watch you? Of course you would. Have a process and follow up with the buyers and non-buyers, and continue going and just providing value. So it doesn't always have to be content. Remember, you're doing a disservice if you're not giving them the option to buy. So always be serving your audience. I think about that on a regular basis. The affiliate offers I do is like I do stuff with Todd, Andre Chaperone. I do stuff with people that I know really well, that I've done business with, products that I've used. I just don't sell just random affiliate stuff just to see what happens. I don't know, maybe it's the thing called ethics, but I like to support people who support me too. And then remember, as we're doing all this, it's going to help leverage the AI and the ad platform. So Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, they're going to start growing their similar audiences. We're going to start growing our retargeting audiences. We already have qualified clicks. We put on all this work. We want to follow up. So the way, I'll talk about removing fear here in a second. So the way we follow up is this. This is our schedule. I'm not let's see here. I need to hire this. All right. So what happens is every Sunday, we send out this magazine, we send out our blog, right? I've talked about this a little bit before, but we send out our blog every Sunday. Now on Monday we have a blab where we talk about it, right? And I'm sure you've seen Todd with the blabs that he does. I will tell you this, which I think is really interesting, and especially when we're talking about driving traffic. See here. Let's go to the blab here real quick. Let's go to my profile. All right. So what happens is because we're doing these blabs and we're scheduling them ahead of time, right? So there's a blab coming up on Monday, scheduled ahead of time. We already have the title. And I start looking through this, I can start seeing 136 viewers, 159 viewers to a blab, and all they're doing is just talking about our topic of the week, right? Well, even though it might only be 187 views or 106 views, we see people come and they start watching the recordings and they're watching the replays. And you can actually, let's see here, you should be able to, this should pull up in Google. Watch. These are starting to have great SEO effects. So people can start to find you. Let's see here real quick. I wonder how I turned that thing off. I've already turned it off like 6 times. Options. Let's see if I can remove from dot. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't know how to turn my text messages off. Status offline. It already says offline. Let's just say invisible. I don't know, we'll put that one up. All right, so, yep, right here. See, they show up. See, look at this. So this shows up on YouTube. YouTube marketing without meaning. Well, this is interesting. Oh, somebody picked up and posted this on their blog. Well, that's interesting. I guess that just gives me some additional exposure. See it on Twitter. Somebody else shared it on Twitter. Someone else shared it on Twitter. Let's see, impact of mobile and social marketing, proof online. That has to mean, notice if I Google the exact title, I bet, oh, it rotates through videos. It's been part of my video. Okay. Very interesting. I guess I hadn't looked at this in a while. But what will actually happen is you'll notice this, that people have, yep, here's another one. People will pick up your blab. Now what happens is it kind of starts helping for some SEO properties, right? So people click right here. What's interesting? Oh, so if you keep scrolling on down, then we'd find my video. Okay, that makes sense. See, what happens is a lot of times is people will embed these videos on their sites to help them with SEO because it's relevant content. It really just helps you as well too. But every time I have a blab, 284 followers get notified. Plus I have my retargeting on. Plus my email list is going on. So when a blab happens, like you've probably already seen a little message that pops up over here. Now people are seeing my retargeting ads. Now people are getting an email from me. Now I'm popping up on their computer. So they're seeing me in multiple places and they have different ways to engage with me as well too. Right? I love blabs. Now what happens is from our blab is every Wednesday we have a training session, a breakout session. So the breakout session, when they're live, they're open to the public. But the recordings are only for our Social Media Ad Genius members. See, I'm training all these 12 steps in the Profit Factory right now, and what I could do is I could just record a whole bunch of videos, slam it together, and put out a product. Or we can spend each week where we research each one of the 12 steps. We really do our due diligence, put together an amazing presentation, and then we'll just give that away to the public and get them for free that they can watch real time. And but all the recordings again are inside Social Media Ad Genius. So what we're doing is every week we're filming basically a part of our training. So the general public can watch it, but if they want to see all the trainings combined together and they really want to review the Profit Factory, well, then they can purchase Social Media Ad Genius and they get access to the Profit Factory. So see, so for instance, and I know I've kind of brought up Craig's business about as too, but see what could happen is very easily is you may have a breakout session once a week where you do just a little presentation on, how a certain mindset objective can really help, or it could even be a meditation exercise, or it could be a positive affirmation exercise that you go over. Remember, just because you give free content doesn't mean that someone's going to use it, implement it, and then not buy your service. A lot of people say, well, if I give away too much information, then people won't buy from me. Not necessarily true. But here's the thing. Remember, entertainers get paid more than educators do. So you want to provide a little bit of entertainment. You want to make it fun, and you want to make it easy to learn. But what you also want to be able to do is, if you are recording something once a week or every other week, remember you can use those recordings and sell it as a product. So if we're doing our blog once a week where people, again, can read our stuff and we're retargeting with our email and retargeting with our ads, and then they can listen to our blab, and then by the time they come to the breakout session, because we talk about it on the blab, by the time they come to the breakout session, they've already been exposed to two or three different reference points to the content we're talking about this week. So the people who show up to these breakout sessions are highly qualified individuals. And then what we do is right after the breakout session. So the breakout session is 1 hour exactly. Right after, at the top of the hour, I say, okay, everybody, hey, I'm going to jump on over and I'm going to answer everybody's questions through the Insiders Club. See, for $97 a month, they get access to Social Media Ad Genius and our online forum where they can answer any questions they want. So I don't answer any questions to the general public. I just let them see the presentations. I answer all the questions in the back of our membership area and on a special conference call I have once a week. And quite honestly, what happens at the end of my presentation, I say, all right, everybody, I'm going to head on over for members of our SMAG family. We're going to go ahead and jump on in. I'm going to start answering questions right now. Sorry, I got to run, but hey, if you want to get your questions answered, absolutely join Social Media Ad Genius. I'm going to be live on here. Ask any questions you want. I'll look over your funnel and everything else just like we do right here. And then I tell people, hey, by the way, when you purchase and you become a Social Media Genius family member, remember you're also going to get a one-on-one consulting call with Shecky. Some people say it's worth just the price of the course alone. And we're also going to introduce you to some of our resident geniuses that are doing some really big things. Now, what's happening is, again, we're seeing sales come in every day. 1, 2, 3 sales a day. Remember, a sale at $97, if they last the entire year, that's over $1,000. That's a $1,200 sale, right? $1,200. So the thing is if they cancel after 3 months, well, it's $300, right? Let's just have, of course, like $99. But here's the deal: is we've only had, I think, so far since we've really been focusing on the continuity of $97 a month. We've been really focusing on continuity for the last 3 months. I think we've only had 3 people stop their billing. So one of the reasons that we have such a low churn rate is because every week they're getting new content. Every week. And it's really because we really sat and we're like, okay, we're not doing enough broadcast emails. What should we write as broadcast emails? Let's do regular content. Well, if we're going to do regular content, let's record it and sell it. Well, heck, if we're going to record it and sell it, let's just do it weekly. Heck, now all of our members are like, man, these guys have weekly content. There's always something new coming out. They're always working on something new. So it's a great way to keep in front of your audience, provide content, record stuff to sell, and always be in front of your people. So I want to see if you guys have any questions on any of this. I know I've kind of spent a little bit more time kind of teaching than I usually do, than I answer any questions. And then I want to talk about fear for just a second. But I want to see if anybody has questions on any of the processes. It's just, I showed this, I was telling my brother this because he just walked in the room. He owns an ad agency too. And he runs a lot of our stuff for our clients, a lot of our high-end clients. Hang on 1 second, I'm going to sneeze. What's interesting is using this Profit Factory, we can quantify results for clients now in ways faster than we ever had before. And we're really focusing on the lifetime value of the customer. And quite honestly, as we're serving customers better, you'll serve customers better. It really does just work great. Now, if I can find, it's so weird, I only have one screen, and I'm trying to find out where the chat is. So this is the pro account, back to meeting, home, meetings, contacts, chats. So that's not the new chat. This can be slightly complicated. Okay, let me see if I can't believe I lost. Save. Come on, the chat has to be around here somewhere. Come on. Oh, this is great. So where? I'm going to pull it off the top. That's great. Or this is one of the most interesting. I've used this before. Where's the chat button at? There we go. That was interesting. Any questions for any of the Profit Factory stuff? No? Okay, good. Good. So one of the last things I want to show you right here, and then we'll start looking at you guys' individual funnels, kind of start taking a look at some of your stats as well too, is something that I remember all the time, especially when we're talking to clients, which is basically this. Hey, look, if I can help people eliminate fear, then I can get them to spend more money on ads. Because what people will tell me, sometimes it just frustrates me. It's like, Kurt, look, this month I only have a budget of $500 to spend on ads. So what can I do for $500? Well, like, I understand having a budget, but when I hear someone say, hey, I only have $500, they're basically saying, hey, look, I only have $500 and I'm going to lose that $500. So what am I going to do? Well, you may make some sales. You may actually make some money, but you're also going to have some qualified clicks. So let's just say your budget is $500 for the month. Great. We're going to run $500 and we may turn it down. We may turn traffic down a little bit, but we want to constantly learn, right? We're constantly learning from this data. What a lot of people do is they start and stop ads because they have fear and they just don't know what their numbers are. They don't know the next steps. That's really why we put together the Profit Factory, to make it quantifiable for people, right? Just like how Todd put in conversion slides so he can help people track a lot easier as well too. So what we do is when we go over this, we say, look, what I want you to do is I want you to take a look, receive the data, whatever that is. You're watching a show or you're reading an article or some friend tells you, hey, check this on Facebook. or if you're looking at Facebook stats, right? Somehow you receive data, you receive feedback. And as soon as you receive feedback, again, someone tells you a story, you see a presentation, you see a product, or you see numbers, you're going to start telling yourself a story in your head. Like, oh, I don't trust that guy on stage, or I didn't like the book. I don't trust the cover of the book because I had another book that whatever. Or, hey, I'm looking at stats and I don't really know what these numbers mean, and this just confuses me and it's hard. There's just stories people tell themselves. We tell them, we're like, just stop. We want to ask yourself, is this real? Do I have anything to worry about? So, okay, I spent $500 and nothing happened. That's not true. We spent $500 and some clicks happened. What clicks? We qualified with our targeting. Let's really work on this, right? We're not just burning cash. We're learning from our numbers. Number 4, ask yourself, what can I measure, test, and verify? So I did spend $500. Okay, what can I measure, test, and verify? Well, I can measure how many clicks I got. I can see the price of the clicks that I got, and I can verify that 100 people went to my, or I can verify 500 people went to my landing page. Okay, great. What information can we gain from that? So 500 people went to my landing page. Anybody opt in? No. Okay, well, now I have an opt-in problem very clearly. All right? But we can start to quantify, which is going to start to remove the fear. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to quantify process and what can I do better next time, right? Not, hey, I just spent $500. Oh, my goodness, what happened? I can't do that again. No, what can we do? What can we learn from the information? How do we keep growing? So that's why I always tell people we never want to stop running ads. Very, very, very important. So now this time is 100% all yours. So I want to see who wants to come out and chat first. If it's Craig or Peggy or Robert. We have Sean on here, I believe, too. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm probably not because I'm just kind of a dumb kid from Nebraska. But do we have anybody on here that wants to go over their funnel, wants me to look at their ads, wants to talk about their ad strategy or the follow-up process? How can I best serve you? I always go first, and we'd be happy to let someone else go first. Does anybody want to go first before Craig? Because he's pretty excited, and I like chatting with Craig. It's kind of funny because Craig, it's like, since my brother's here in the room, he knows the story. Like, you know, you get how people are at family gatherings. Like, I know everybody does this, right? And they're like, okay, food's on the table, and then everyone stands around. They just kind of look at the food. No one wants to be first. I'm always the first one. And I look at everybody, and I'll just be honest. And I'm like, all right, sons of bitches, you're just going to wait for everybody else? And they're like, well, that's kind of rude. And they see me start eating, and then everybody else is like, okay. It's kind of like at a party where, like, everybody's like, should we leave? I don't want to be the first one. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'll be a trendsetter. I don't care. So, Craig, thanks for being a trendsetter. See? And someone's like, hey, we'll even go after Craig. Okay. All right. So let's go. I'm going to go with, because Craig volleyed this over, I'm going to go, I keep jumping in front. I'm going to go, I know I'm mispronouncing your name. I apologize, but I'm going to unmute you.
That's okay. It's Rachna. It's Rachna.
Rachna, thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you. Yes, now I remember that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Kurt. So I just had a couple questions, and I feel like I don't have good data. So let me just kind of walk through the situation with you real quick, and then maybe you can give me some pointers on how to proceed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a acquaintance who runs a retail store. They're selling food products. So they've asked me if I would run some Facebook ads for them to help them get to make more sales in their online portion of their store, or to bring more people into their store. Yep. So it's been challenging because I'm working through someone else we both know, and I'm having trouble getting data about whether stuff is selling, but the clicks are like really, really good. I mean, the clicks are like a lot of clicks, and it's pretty tightly targeted. But they're using this. So what I tried to do is I tried to get into their site, and I tried to set up a system where I could actually track conversions using Facebook's conversion pixel. But I don't know. So I'm a little like not tracking properly, like what I need to do next.
So remember, Facebook Conversion Pixel isn't necessarily tracking conversions, like it's kind of secondary.
Okay.
The first one's really to help drive qualified traffic.
Okay.
So, like, we'll sometimes see, wow, we got 30 leads, but the Conversion Pixel said we got 6. There's something wrong. Now, I think it's gotten better. Steve, have you noticed, has the Conversion Pixel gotten better on tracking? It seems to be more accurate? Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, What about Google Analytics? Have you taken a look at like Google Analytics with Conversion Fly?
I have not been able to get a lot of detail about that. They're using WooCommerce, which does like an add to cart link. So after somebody adds something to the cart, I imagine that would show up in analytics. So I could ask for that. This is all like kind of new, but I could ask for that if that would be a good next step.
Yeah, that would be a good next step. Yeah, because the thing is you really have to verify the numbers, and if they're buying, so are they buying stuff at least? Are people buying stuff, or are you just seeing cheap clicks?
I'm seeing. Well, I know from what you've taught us already that cheap clicks is not the great thing. The problem is that the business owner is sort of vague. Like he's sort of like, yeah, I think I'm selling more. So I feel like I'm just operating blind, and I keep having to go through.
How does he not know?
Yeah, well, that's my question too. So I don't know if this is, I mean, this, I'm sort of like, well, if you put something on special and you suddenly, like, have you suddenly sold a lot more of that thing on special, or not? And I'm not sure what the gap is, but so I can definitely get analytics data and look at that, and then it basically, so it's just kind of jacked up.
Are they paying you to run? Help me understand your role. Are they paying you to run traffic? Are you helping run traffic?
Well, but what it is they're my friend works with them, and my friend asked me if Facebook ads would work for this client because the client's having trouble selling, and I said I don't actually know if it would, but based on what I've learned from you, I thought, well, it'd be a good chance to practice the process of doing them. So I went ahead and set up the ads and everything. I'm just a little bit lost because I know I'm not getting data or information that I need from them, but I don't know if there's other way I can set it up that I could do it more automatedly or if there's some other way I could do it without having to keep asking them because I'm not getting data from them.
You're not getting data. Okay, so just to be clear, we're only talking about online sales, nothing coming into the actual store for foot traffic, correct?
They want to do.
Do they have a physical store?
They have a physical store. They want to do both, but I'm only trying to measure with online sales.
Okay. Well, they do have a branding feature on Facebook.
Okay.
They have a branding feature, and you can target local businesses, right?
Yes.
So you can target like local businesses for foot traffic, like within a 5-mile square radius.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yep.
So that can help, and helping the branding and like people just seeing the image that live close by and clicking on it can start helping out with retargeting as well too. Now you've probably already looked through some of the targeting options, but there's a food and beverage targeting option as well too.
Yes.
For people who bought sodas, potato chips, stuff like that, which is great. Their e-commerce site, is that it's hosted on what again?
It's on WooCommerce, which is a WordPress.
It's
a WordPress system.
Okay. So they have a thank you checkout page, right?
Yeah. Yes, they do. They have a thank you checkout page. I know that for sure.
Okay. Is the page? Is it always the same page, or is the page different for everything that they buy?
That part, I believe it's a different page for everything people buy. The challenge with tracking that in analytics is that they go off of the site somewhere after the payment is processed. So I didn't have a way to like track it all the way through. I can track people going to the ad, like I can track all the way through the add to cart, but I don't believe I have a way to track all the way to the confirmation of sale, because it ends up somewhere different than on their website.
Okay. How else are they getting people to their website?
That I don't actually know.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, how many do you sell a week? Sell a week of what? Heck, I don't know. If you're not running any ads, like, what are you selling? Oh, we sell like 12 items a week. All of a sudden, last week we sold 20. Oh,
yeah, and that's actually exactly what happened. I ran something in January, and they sold a lot of that item, and then they were like, oh yeah, but I think the owner was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it was just people hearing about it, and I'm like, or it could have been the ads that were running. So So I know this is really a jacked up question, but I will look at analytics. I'll get that,
Mhm.
and then is there anything else in the sort of jacked up system that I can look at?
Well, I mean, the thing is like, if you to put Google Analytics or conversion fly on it, obviously helps a ton. Or I guess you said the conversion pixel goes off-site. So does it take people off-site where you're not able to? So you can't. Okay, when someone checks out, as soon as they check out, where does it take them specifically? Does it go through the payment processor and then
it goes
where?
It goes to the payment processor, and I believe where they end up is using a page that is provided by the payment processor that just says, it doesn't redirect back to their website for a thank you for a purchase or something. It's like a standard page that's provided by whoever's providing their payment processing.
There has to be a way to change that link.
Okay.
That link has to be able to go to like that. Yeah, because that has to change the link, because ideally you want to have like a video or some kind of thank you message. It's like, hey, your orders have been shipped. This is great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And that's where the pixel should go. So I know that there has to be a setting that says what happens when someone buys. Where do you send them?
Okay. And then I should just get that set up to go to a page that I can track where people end up.
Yep. Because really, no one else is ever going to go to that thank you page, right? Unless they buy.
Right.
So even if it's not on your server and you put Facebook pixels on it or your URL, as long as you can put a pixel on that page, great. But I'm 99% positive that they're going to give you the option to redirect it to any page that you want.
Okay, perfect. That's what I needed. Thanks, Kurt.
You are welcome. Absolutely. All right. Any other questions we have here? We got Craig. All right. Craig, this is all yours, sir. I'm going to take you off mute. Now you're unmuted. Now I can hear you.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
Probably best way you can help me is if I can share my screen.
Of course.
How do I do it? Share screen.
Yep, you're going to go to wherever the menu bar is at the top. Yep, share screen. Already got it. You are already there.
Okay, so let me tell you what I got going. I am sending traffic, I am sending traffic to blog posts.
Awesome.
2 different blog posts.
Oh, yeah.
This is our latest stats, and we're building an audience, and then sending them to webinars that I'm still in process of making. We're going to rotate between 3 different webinars and now making them all automated.
Great.
So here's numbers I got right now. I'd like you to, and then I got my my business page up here. This is all Chinese. Maybe you can help me look at this. So just to get you up to speed, I do have somebody doing this for me. So I want you to be my advocate here. And
it's the same outsourcer you have, right?
Not my VA. No, I went with a company recommended by somebody. Well, my outsourcer could not handle this.
Okay. So it looks like right now with the generic blog post, you're getting about $15 an opt-in, right?
Right. We're going to boost that up with some exit intents on that. Exit intent pop-ups.
Exit intents.
That's those when someone.
Oh, it says, "Are you sure you want to leave?"
No, you can't do those for Facebook. I know that. When your mouse goes towards the top, it leaves. You get one of those things that come up and asks or gives them a lead magnet.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That makes sense. All right. So 17% clicks is great. 2.8% click-through rate is great. $15 leads kind of high. Do you know? Have you been able to kind of figure out yet for LTV what a lifetime value of your customer may be in 30 days or 60 days?
Not yet. I'm just putting together this massive follow-up campaign, starting with the $500 product. This is the stuff I had been selling in the past to adult athletes. Now I'm repackaging it for sports parents and youth coaches. So this is for the youth sports market now. This is where I'm focusing.
Okay. Your new revenue store
Those are my 2 blog post landing pages that we're sending them to right there.
Okay. Can you click on both those links for me so I can see what they are?
Yep.
So it looks like you're getting $15 leads for running it to the blog and $10 leads for running it to the webinar, right?
Yes, but I've got some better numbers to the webinar. So
what do you mean by that?
Well, that was like an old one to the webinar. We didn't start tracking it at first, so the webinar numbers aren't accurate yet. They should start.
Okay.
Now. But
now, are you running cold traffic to the webinar, or are you retargeting people who've gone to the blog to go to the webinar?
Retargeting, yeah. We're sending people cold to this for the parents, and this is where I'm going to have that exit intent page.
Okay.
So they can get on.
Your banners. You get your. Just to be clear, you have your banner on the right-hand side up there, which is great.
And this at the bottom.
Got down there. Can you? So that's good. Can you put any other banners over on the right-hand side? You see how you have the the click for the use both parents, right? Yeah. And then scroll on down from there. Yep, scroll on down. And then you have your training, which is great. Click there, and then you have your other categories, right? Yep. Recent post.
Yep.
Below recent posts, can you put any other ads?
You mean another one of these, for example, or something different, or?
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Yes and no, meaning that the ad that you have right here on the right, the attention youth sports parents, right? Yep. Click here.
Yep.
I think it would be interesting is after your related post to put it like I'd put another ad or 2 or 3 below because there's so much extra room to scroll. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Great idea.
See, and here's a couple of things to think about. Just a couple of ideas that may work. One, if you do me a favor and scroll up just a little bit. I gotta record this.
Yes, I gotta record me. Full screen. There we go. Okay, what were you saying now?
All right, scroll to the very top for me. I want to show you something real quick. Scroll to the top. All right. So now what we have is the colors really match. I like the colors on here. I like the mental toughness for the logo, and I like how the video colors match the ad colors that you have over on the right, right? So let's just say for some reason, I don't know, scroll down just a little bit so we can see the full ad on the right-hand side for me. Let's just say there's some language in here or something about the image. I'm not really quite sure, but maybe it just doesn't catch the attention and people aren't clicking on it, right?
Yep.
So if you scroll on down just a little bit, go past below your blog articles. Yep, okay, right here. So that picture, there could be a coach with a kid or something like that. You may want to consider if you're sending traffic here, maybe that you have an ad on the right-hand side that would go along with this picture, right? Maybe it's a coach talking to a kid and it's like, learn the 3 phrases that it's just different copy with a different image that when they click on it, it's going to land at the same place that you'd have at the top.
Yep, can do. Easy.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, just a couple, I think you can put a couple of them down here. This just kind of relates to whatever they're reading for. So if I'm looking at this, and right here, with the arms around the kid with the helmet, up just a little bit like right here, right?
Yep.
This could be learn the mental toughness techniques that many football players have used. And it could be a similar picture like this. It's going to take them over to the same other landing page, right?
Yep.
Or if you're offering anything else, just another idea just because I see that, there's a scrolling, and,
awesome.
and which is good.
That's
now,
awesome.
I want to show you something. I'm going to steal your screen for just a second, and I'm going to share my screen just for an idea. Okay?
Yep.
Now, we haven't really talked about this much, but I just talked about this on another webinar, and I'm starting to use this more and more. Are you familiar with BuzzSumo?
I've heard of it, but I don't remember what it does. You told us, I think.
You're going to love this.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep, let me show you this here real quick.
Yeah.
Whoop. All right, so here we are for BuzzSumo. By the way, digital marketer is building product after product based off of BuzzSumo. So what happens is, what would be a good keyword for you, Craig? Mental toughness, sports psychology.
No, more like uh, kids' mental block, performance anxiety.
Kids mental block for performance
Youth
anxiety.
sports,
Right.
sports
that?
mental block. Yeah, some people might do mental toughness, but actually they Google problems.
Start searching one.
No confidence,
Oh.
confidence in sports.
Ooh,
Confidence in sports.
confidence in sports.
Yeah.
Let me just see here real quick for a second. Let's go to Google. Just see what it brings me. Competitive advantage, mental toughness. This is yours, isn't it?
No, that's my competitor. His whole business is SEO. He just writes like crazy and has tons of links. I can't compete.
Oh, wow. Yours looks prettier.
His is
All right.
all written. He's boring as sin.
Yeah. All right. So,
But he ranks.
all right. Can you do me? I'm gonna go ahead and have you actually go to BuzzSumo. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm gonna have you reshare your screen. Go to BuzzSumo, and I want you to type in what was the keyword that we looked? Confidence in sports.
Yeah.
So go ahead and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so you can share yours.
You got my screen?
Yeah. BuzzSumo. What, I love everyone? Book. And then hit go. Yeah. All right. Oh, perfect. So here's a couple of things, right? So let's just we can take a look at what's this 2015 NBA Finals. LeBron James confident I'm the best in the world. Let's scroll on down and see what other things we have besides the John Brain. Scroll on up for me and put it in quotations. Confidence in sports. So that would be an exact match.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So that's kind of interesting. We don't really have much here. Scrolling down a little bit.
Try mental toughness. Actually, we probably shouldn't have quotes on that because it'll do mental toughness in sports and all kinds of variations.
Yeah, it's just really key to not over. Scroll. Once I show the toughness. Yeah, I'm just not. Unfortunately, I'm just not seeing any related articles. Let's see. What would be another? What would be? What about sports psychology?
Sports psychology is not my youth market at all. It's for adults.
Ooh, high school is under pressure. Smart kids. So, really, scrolling up just a little bit for me so I can see what the title is. That's 786. Your anxiety about math could be bringing down your kid's performance. This could be interesting. So this has 786 Facebook shares, right? Nothing on LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. Total shares 794. Okay, great. So what you may do is go ahead and right-click on that article. Your anxiety about math could be bringing your kids down for performance, right? Open that in a new tab. Nope, just right-click it and open it in a new tab. I'm going to show you how to do this really fast. Go ahead and click. So leave this one open, but I want you to click back on BuzzSumo tab. Okay? Now what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at View Backlinks and right-click on View Backlinks. I guess just click on the View Backlinks. Search. It's not running, is it?
Nope.
BuzzSumo Pro. Oh, go to content. There's a tab. One's backlinks. The other one's content. Left. Scroll down just a little bit. Scroll down a little bit more. Oh, you passed it. Go move your mouse up just a tad bit right there. It's right below your mouse. Oh, it was right below your mouse where you were just at, where it says content. There's a tab that says content and backlinks. So it's right above the title of backlinks. You're going to see a tab that says content.
Oh.
Yeah, right there. Yep. Okay. So what happens is I love getting a membership to BuzzSumo, right? The reason is because, okay, this article right here had 786 shares. Now, if it had a lot more shares, or if it had more shares, you would know, hey, this is a pretty viral article, right?
Oh.
So what happens is if you had a membership, you would be able to view the backlinks. You would see other blogs that reference this article. So other blogs that reference this article, for example, could be blogs that may have highly relevant content for your avatar. It gives you ideas of writing some articles. So what happens is like your anxiety about math maybe bringing down your kid's performance. Let's go over to the tab that you opened up with that article. Let's look at that article real quick. All right. So scroll on down just a little bit. Let's kind of just read this here real quick. Helping your kid with their math homework could be doing more harm if it makes you anxious. Ooh, this is good. So as much as your kids try to hide it. So again, this is all about math, but you can really relate this over to sports mental toughness. And here's how. So what happens is you can find these viral articles on BuzzSumo. So what happens is you can run traffic to, for instance, this page, right? You can run traffic to this article. Now, one way that you can do it, let me see if my buddy has, Craig, do you have a WordPress blog?
Yes, they're all WordPress, yes.
Okay, hang on 1 second. I want to see, I'm going to pull up, there's a reference I want to give you for a friend of mine that created a product that basically, are you familiar with TrustJacker at all? Do you know what that is?
No.
You ever heard of that? Okay, not a problem. Just a moment. TrustJacker.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Oops. All right. All right, let me just see if this person is on here real quick. I'm trying to look at my Skype for a contact for you, and my Skype just crashed. So just bear with me for a second. Shut the door all the way, please. All right, here we are. Let's see here. Here I am. Your let me see if I'm trying to ping this guy over on Skype to see. Let's see here, social media manager pro. This should be this.
The strategy's escaping me right now.
I'll show you here in just a second. If I give you a link, it'll make perfect sense.
Okay.
Where in the heck is this? Products. Come on. It's always funny. Whenever I want to find the information the fastest, it is not here to be found. I'm going to ask one more person. This makes sense. There's an interview I did with a guy named Jesse Jameson. And Jesse is a friend of mine that created the software that basically what happens is you can use a WordPress plugin, and if you find an article like the one that we just saw, you can actually run traffic to that article, and it's basically a link shortener. And what happens is you can cookie traffic for people who click on the ad and then go to like CNN or that article that we were just reading. So what happens is you don't have to own the blog to cookie the traffic. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that
So
going to boost up our click-through rate because it's a highly interesting.
Yep. I'm going to show you here in just a second.
Oh, that's just for audience building then.
Yep. Let's see here. There. Quick question.
I'm gonna jack something here.
What is your WordPress plugin solution to cookie URLs on pages that people don't own? I'm talking about it on a webinar and want to give people a link.
Now.
Let's see if he writes back. So basically, here's what happens. It's a WordPress plugin, very much like you've probably seen. It's a WordPress plugin that looks it's just like a link shortener, like Pretty Link. Are you familiar with Pretty Link at all?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. It's just like Pretty Link. So what happens is you can send traffic over to a relevant blog. So let's go ahead and take a look at your anxiety about math, right? Go ahead and click on that for just a minute, right?
Yep.
So let's just say that you run a boost post, right? So I'm going to give you 3 different ways that we're going to test relevant content. This is something digital marketers are doing right now in a very, very big way, and it's working out great. What they do is they come to BuzzSumo, and they find these viral articles that have done really well, right?
Yep.
So, we may test out a couple of different keywords. It could be, mental toughness training, mental toughness for sports. We start just looking and finding out, what are some viral articles that have just done really well and would be really interesting for my avatar. Okay,
Yep.
So let's say you found like the article right here. Well, what happened is you would do a boost post and you would write a post that would say something along the lines, I just read this article. It's absolutely amazing. It really does coincide with everything that I talk about mental toughness in sports. This is exactly what parents go through in sports. Check out the article. And what happens is when you're doing the boost post, retargeting pro. That's what it's called, retargeting pro. So for everybody else, the product is retargeting pro. You can Google retargeting pro. So what happens is when you do that boost post, so now people click on the link, now they're going to this other blog. If you didn't write the blog, they're just going to another blog, so you can cookie people, right? Well, what happens is you may find 3 or 4 types of articles like this that you just send direct traffic over to because it's like third-party edification. Does that make sense?
Pages of
all right, I'm going to mute somebody. Robert, I'm going to mute you again, just FYI. All right, there we go. So basically what happens is you would click people center on this page, right? So let's just say, for example, Craig, that you have found 5 articles that you see that seems really relevant that you're running traffic to, right? Like cold market could go to your very first article, for example, that you showed me, right? Yep. And then you could retarget that traffic for like 3 days over to another article, and then people would go to that article, which could be like this one right here because it's highly relevant, right? And then when they land on this page, it could go to another relevant article as well too. So they see 2 or 3 or 4 articles that are relevant to each other. But we never know what is specifically relevant until we test it with our audience, right? Yeah. So you may run a boost post for an article just like this. You may find another article that you run a boost post with as well, and you're trying to see where can I get cheaper clicks. Let's just say out of 4 articles that you are testing at the same time, one is 10-cent clicks, one's 15 cents, one's 20, and one's 30 cents, right? Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the lowest cost per click, the 10 cents, right? Well, if that article is really relevant for your market, then you can write a blog about that article. This is step 2. This is what you call curated content.
I can do that.
So now you're like, well, instead of me having to write a blog first, now what you do is you have proven that, well, using Retargeting Pro, I can see that I get 10-cent clicks from an article like this. So then you write a curated article. And to be clear on that, it's your opinion, and then you send a link to this article. So you can have like a video or a small little blog that says, I just read this. It is super important to mental toughness to be able to coordinate ABC. This article is really aligned. So now what happens is it's like you're giving your opinions and you're giving your thoughts on your blog, and then at the very bottom of your blog, it said read the full article here. They click on the link, and it sends them over to that article. So now you can retarget people because they've been to your blog specifically with all of your branding. Now this is where you can start getting some opt-ins. Does that make sense?
No, the last part I'm not getting. So they,
Okay.
There's an article. Let me just repeat so you can fill in the gap what I don't know. There's this off-site article. It's relevant. And I put that in the post. No. Well, that is the step one where I test to find out what it should be about, what this campaign should be
Exactly.
about. Then I got that. And then I write my own opinion about that article.
The one that's doing the best. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to reference that article outside of me, right?
Because you're basically going to write like 2 paragraphs of here's what it meant for me, and check out the article down here below.
Okay. And how do I get opt-ins that way?
Just like you're getting opt-ins now on your blog where you have the ads on the right-hand side.
Okay. And
right?
why is this a better strategy than what we're doing now? I'm missing the coolness factor.
Because right now you don't know if your content's relevant to your avatar that would take off in a viral fashion like some of these other proven articles have.
Oh, okay. All right. So
because right now, let's be honest, it's just a lucky guess to find out if your content's relevant to the people you're targeting.
Well, I mean, I know it's relevant, but I have no idea if they're sharing it or they really care.
Sorry, that's a better way to say it. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you're already getting 2% click-through rates and 12-cent clicks, just imagine if you found a similar viral article, you could now be getting 6-cent clicks, right? So Digital Marketer here does this in 3 steps, and it's brilliant. They use something like the Retargeting Pro, and they'll run 4 or 5 articles just to see where they can get the cheapest traffic, step number 1, right?
Yep.
Step number 2, they'll be like, okay, now it's worthwhile to write an article about this article because it's obviously relevant, right?
Yep.
So step number 2, what they're going to do is they write an article on their blog, and at the very bottom of the blog, they reference the off-site article, right? So they give their opinion. Now, step number 3 is if they find out, man, I'm getting 5-cent clicks to my blog that talks about this topic, and it looks like 20% of the people are actually clicking over to read that other article, right? Then what Digital Marketer does, step number 3, is they replace the original article with their own. So now their entire blog is being built off of proven traffic.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that good? So what happens is they actually, this is the brilliant part of it. So what Perry Belcher, he's brilliant. I just saw him last night. Perry, what he basically does is like he has a secret. Perry has this survival niche, right?
Yep.
So Perry's in the survival niche. Well, they advertise on conservative radio a lot, right? So when they start taking a look at their demographics of their avatar, Perry's like, well, wait a minute. If we're advertising on conservative radio, there's a lot of people in the survival niche who are interested in finances. I'm going to go ahead and retarget the people who are already in survival, and I'm going to retarget them, and I'm just going to find 7 or 8 popular articles on finance that those people might like. So Perry would build a fan page, retarget his current audience of survival people, and he would retarget them to 5 or 6 relevant articles that have been viral before for finance. So then what Perry would do is he's like, wow, these 4 of these articles are taking off. He would then write a blog post that curated the information. Like I said, here's my opinion, send them off to another blog.
Yep.
And then what Perry would do is if he found out that was working, he would write another page to support that documentation and just replace that original blog. So now all the information is flowing through your site. It is proven content. Perry built 40 businesses last year using that process.
Wow. What does Retargeting Pro do? I don't get that.
Well, Retargeting Pro is basically like a pretty link. So what ends up happening is when you put this link on your post, people click on that link and it takes them over to like CNN.com, right? but it cookies the person in the redirect of the link so you can cookie all of your traffic and retarget all the people that you're sending to blogs that you do not own.
Okay, when you say cooking, we're not talking Facebook now.
We are. Yeah, we are.
Oh, we're still talking.
So people
use the regular Facebook tracking pixel and build an audience off of that.
Say that again. One more time. I'm sorry.
We need Retargeting Pro when we've got Facebook, audience building track pixels.
Right, but you can't put a pixel on a page you don't own.
But we can't have the link there. I don't see how that does any different. How is the Retargeting Pro any different than the Facebook tracking pixel on somebody else's? I don't get it. Because
right now, the only way that you can do retargeting is if you put a pixel on your website, right?
Oh, when they get to my website.
No, hear me through on this stuff. Right now, you can only retarget people if they land on your website, right?
Yeah, if they get to my website.
Right. You can't retarget people if you send them to CNN because you don't own that website, right?
Oh. So this retargeting thing integrates with the Facebook thing to build your audience?
Yep. So you know how PrettyLink works, right?
No, I don't. I just heard of them. That's why I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me see if I can show you an example here real quick. Hang on. Just a moment. Let me see. I'll show you pro.com. And why is this not pulling up? Social Retargeting Pro, I think that's it. All right, let me share my screen here real quick.
Okay. So
yep. All right, here is the link.
They click the link to go to CNN, for example, and that cookies them and puts them in your Facebook custom audience?
Audience, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I get it. Yeah.
WordPress plugin.
And
I just put the link. I just put the link in there for everybody in the chat.
So this Retargeting Pro is the bridge.
That's a great way to say it. Yes, next time I'll explain it exactly like that. That's exactly what it is. Yep. So that way, so basically the moral of the story is you don't have to write what you feel are 5 relevant content articles that you send people over to. You can test it with viral content and not have to do any of the work of building out your blog or website pages until you know that this is good content that people are relating to. So you may have that first page that you showed me on your website that you're sending traffic to.
Yeah.
That's great. And then if they don't opt in there, you can retarget to another viral article, right? 1 or 2, and then send them back over to your webinar. So this way you know it's highly relevant content. But instead of having to build out the pages first, this is just an easy way using like this Retargeting Pro to use other people's websites to start building your audience.
That's fantastic. Social Retargeting Pro is the same as, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and there's a video right there that shows you how to do the whole thing too. Yeah.
All right, cool. That is very, very cool. I get it.
I mean, is when I was talking to, when I was talking to the people from digital marketing, it was basically, awesome. Yeah, I mean, they're using something similar like this. I can't remember what their internal tool is, but they use something like this that they're just really building some great audiences.
It seems like, though, you have to be, my first thought was, oh, wow, man, I can figure out what makes people hot and bothered in my niche, but that may not be what I make a product out of necessarily. It just means you get engagement, which helps boost up opt-ins for cheaper. That's the goal. Yes?
Say it one more time for me, please.
So my first thought was, oh my God, if we figure out what topics make my people hot and bothered.
Yes.
That would make possibly, but not necessarily, I'm thinking out loud, not necessarily what I would make a product on. Possibly.
Correct. Yeah, so for example, here's a good example, right? How to motivate your child in the sports they're in, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of related to you, sort of. It's almost kind of like an affinity group, right?
Yeah.
Or how to be a better sports parent, how to be a better soccer dad,
Yeah.
Right? Now we're starting to talk about encouragement and showing up, and then we
Yeah.
start moving into the mental toughness.
Right.
So yeah, I like how you said hot and bothered. Like, I know parents get all excited about cheering on their kids, right? And
Yeah.
of course, you have the overzealous parent who kind of freaks out just a little bit too much, or the parent that just berates their kid and says, "Hey, why didn't you do this right?" And going through some of those scenarios. So you may find like a really popular topic, and again, I'm making this up, but USA may come out with an article that talks about the detriment of parents not supporting their kids in sports can have a really, big effect on their grades in school. That would be a great article to talk about. Hey, are your kids enrolled in sports? Here's how it can affect their grades. And, you may find some of these reports on, like I said, CNN or in the news. So the Social Targeting Pro is great because you can find out what articles get underneath people's skins or what they share. And then if you should write about that on the blog and kind of continue. But it just gives you some social proof that it's kind of already been proven before. Let's see how this is going to work.
Let me throw an example at you from my market to talk about what you just said. So I know any darn day of the week, if I want to stir up controversy and get people hot and bothered, I can write an article or talk about or point to somebody else's article that says giving kids participation trophies in second grade is a good thing. I'll get so many fired up people and make your head spin. But I don't know that I certainly can't make a product off of that discussion. You
don't have to make a product off of it. They're just getting exposure to you. So you just want to start the conversation.
And get people sharing so I drive my costs down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So just make that the main focus. And if somehow, like I got confused at first when you're saying digital marketing is making products off of this stuff. It's possible, but
no. So just to be clear, what they're doing is like once you start growing your list, right? You start taking a look, and I'm just going to make this up. Let's say we were talking about before, that your product's selling well with high school coaches, right?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, this is great, and you're like, you know what? These high school coaches, I bet that they also influence purchase. And I'm just making this up. They also influence purchasing jerseys.
right.
Well, I've targeted a lot of people before. Maybe I'm just going to retarget that audience with like, how do you buy better jerseys or something like that. It just starts to expand your audience. You don't have to make a new product out of the blog type.
Right.
It is just what's that affinity audience that you may be able to relate people to. But I think with you is, what are different ways that you can relate with people to start building the conversation about their kids in sports, and for you to start talking about the angle of the mental toughness in sports.
So I ought to pick my topics to search for that I already know are controversial, and that I take controversial positions, because that gets people hot and bothered one way or another.
Uh-huh. Yep, agreed.
That's a great way to start things out here with step one.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. And this is just to plug in this social retargeting pro thing.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. There's a video right on the front page of it. It kind of shows you how the whole thing works.
Okay. Cool. I will do that.
Yep.
While it does though, webinars. So obviously, I want to drive people to these webinars where I actually sell stuff.
Yep.
You got any hot tips on what's happening with the leading edge people on that through Facebook Live? Anything new?
Uh-huh. I'll show you, hang on one second. I have a YouTube channel, or our Social Media Ad Genius YouTube channel has a ton of stuff on it. So let me get this. Let's see here. Let me find out where this is. I need to go to channel. All right. So I am going to, let's see here. I need to go to, all right, in the chat area.
Yep.
There you go. I put a link to a YouTube video in there. Profitable refunneling campaigns for Facebook advertising. I actually walked through a funnel example of what I did with Todd Brown and how we set up the retargeting.
for a webinar?
So from the thank you page to the opt-in to retargeting for the thank you, and then retargeting closeout. It's all in there.
Awesome. Beautiful. Cool. Can you take a look at my business page, see if there's anything stands out or something I need to know?
Let's take a look. Yep.
I'm just copying that really quick. Go back to this. All right. Oh, here's a question. I was not getting notifications from my page. They were going to another admin. We can figure out how to fix that. Although,
say that again. You're getting notifications of going to a different admin.
An ex partner in my business who's still an admin here. It's my fiance, and all the notifications go to her. Even when I'm logged into me, commenting in the page, it still shows her name, even though I'm logged into me. And the notifications, like I don't even get notifications from my page that say, hey,
go to the left-hand side where it says business settings.
Okay.
So we have payment, projects, plans, requests, go to preferences. So there's your emails. Business permissions, business roles, business updates, supports. So you can check all your preferences. You can click yes or no, which ones you'd want.
Oh, for each one of these. Oh, okay. Well, those are business. What about my simple little notifications when somebody comments on my page?
You're going to have to go to your fan page and click on notifications function on your fan page.
It's the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find that. How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here and back to the actual page from this business? Is it that?
Yeah, you can do that.
And then mental toughness. Okay. And where am I going here?
So now you're going to go to scroll up to the very top. You're going to click on settings. Left-hand side, you're going to go to notifications. Right above page roles. Right there. There you go.
Well,
because get one notification every 12 to 24
yeah,
12 to 24 hours.
They're not going to me. They're going to my fiance. All these notifications. This is where we set them. But it's not, all these aren't going to me. They're going to my partner. How do we fix that?
You want to
Is that page roll? That's where I was before. Oh, you know what I did? I bumped her down to editor, see if that worked. She used to be admin.
I don't know why. I mean, you should, all your settings are to get your notifications, and it should go, your notifications don't go to info@craigsgl.com.
I haven't gotten any notifications. I just changed this, so, I mean, maybe nobody's done anything. So it might be fixed and I don't know it, but what's the difference between admin and editor? What can an editor do? Or what can't they do?
They can't make changes to the page. They can't make changes to the page.
Okay.
They can't make admin changes to the page. They can just make edits.
Comment and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that's fine then. I think we're good on that then. Okay, let's get back to the numbers. How do I get back there? Here?
Some cards right over there on the table.
What should we look at?
Hey, Nick. All right, sorry about that. They're all leaving to go watch Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay. What do you want to take a look at? What numbers would you like to take a look at?
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
Yes,
Whatever
you do.
I should look at.
Every time that you tell me that, I'm going to say, yes, you do. Because Shecky does the same thing too. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to click the damn button. Which one? I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, you do. Click where it says mental toughness trainer.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that from you.
Click on mental toughness trainer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you knew how to do that, see? All right, so you got some verifiable stats. Blog power partnering, and it looks like you got 2,000 clicks, which is great. 19 cents a click, great. 11 cents a click, which is almost half, right, for the youth sports organization, so that's great. And then basketball blog, 45 cents. Wow. It's a lot more expensive than the other ones, huh?
We just started, though, on that.
Good answer. Good answer. Let's take a look at where it says all campaigns, right? What I want you to do is I want you to go to the right-hand side where it says search. At the top right-hand side, or go filters. Oh, no, sorry. I'm not really quite sure what happened there. Yeah, you'll see right where it says create an ad. You see that green button? Go right underneath that. Create an ad, green button. Go right underneath that. Yep, right there. Go ahead and click on that. Go ahead and click on delivery. So we want to make sure that they're just active. Click on that. Active. Yep, just go ahead and click on active. Great. Now I'll go over to the left-hand side where it says all campaigns. Far left-hand side. Yep, right there. Exactly. Go ahead and put all ad sets. Go ahead and click on all ad sets for me. All right. So see the daily budget. All makes perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, wow, last 30 days, that 9 cents for best baseball and softball really looks great. Wow, that one does really well, huh? So, okay. So now what I want you to do is go over to the right-hand side where it says columns, where it says performance. Right-hand side columns, performance. Yep, go ahead and click on that. Go ahead and go to performance and clicks. Click on performance and clicks. Yep. All right, so our frequency is good, right? Look at our frequencies, 1.7, 1.3, 1.59. It looks like the frequency is at 3.3 for basketball. So there's something going on here where people are seeing the ad over and over. Do you know, is that audience size much smaller than the other two?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you may want to just keep an eye on that because I typically don't want my frequency, especially if I'm just starting out, 4 or 5 days in. I want to make sure my frequency isn't as high as 3 because it'll just burn out real quick and I won't be able to scale it. It's one of those things I can kind of dive into the honey hole for a very short amount of time, dive out, and kind of go back and forth, right?
That's kind of an experiment in individual sport versus youth sports.
Okay. So you may want to, just watch that really closely because of the frequency. Now go ahead and scroll on over to the right for me. Move that, kind of bar down to the right if you can, so I can see the numbers down at the right. Nope, you're going to want to go the very bottom bar underneath all the results. Yep, you can move that one, and then there's one. Yep, exactly. That's right. All right. Wow, look at that. So you have a 5.95 click-through rate on baseball and softball, and you have a 5.21% click-through rate on soccer. So those are your two best performing ads, and they're the best cost per click, right?
Yep.
So it's great. Now, what's really interesting, and I'm not really quite sure why, scroll over just a little bit more for me, move that bar a little bit more. There we go. So look at this, the link click. That's interesting. Oh, there's pretty high link clicks. Okay, so that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, the click-through rate on the link is great. So those look pretty good. Now, let's do this here real quick. Go ahead where it says performance and clicks, right? Go ahead and use that drop-down box for performance and clicks. Yep. Go to customize columns. Go ahead and click on customize columns for me. All right. Now what we're going to do is I want you to go ahead and click on positive and negative feedback, right where your mouse is. Okay. Now go ahead and hit apply. All right. Now I'm going to go over to the left-hand side where it says all ad sets, and I want you to change it from all ad sets to all ads. Left-hand side drop-down box. Right there. Change it to all ads. All right. Now this is going to give us our relevancy score. Now look at this. So now you have a relevancy score of 10, gold, relevant score of 9 for the one in the middle, and another relevancy score of 10. So those ones that are 10, 9, and 10, amazing. All these others down here below, 4, 3, 3, these baseball lighted up too, even though it's been running for a short time, shut those ads down because they're not doing you any service whatsoever.
Yeah.
Their cost per click's high, their relevancy is too low. So yeah, you should, even though the cost, the click-through rate, yeah. So you want to shut down all those baseball ads now.
Okay. Basketball, yeah.
Yeah. And scroll down just a little bit for me. Go up because I can see that there's more ads here, but I want to look at the relevancy scores. Yep. Yeah, anything that's below a 5, shut off.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because at 9, you want to keep your stuff at 9 and 10. And that's kind of the idea of finding those viral articles like on BuzzSumo,
Yep.
because it helps those relevancy scores really high, and you can tell a huge difference. If you take a look, okay, just take a look real quick at relevancy score versus cost per click. Oh, you got to scroll back over to the right just a little bit so we can look at these numbers. Okay, right here. Now look at relevancy score and tie it to cost per click. Look at these 3s and 4s, how they're 25 and 30 cents. And look how 10s and 9s are 10 cents. Remember I said Facebook doesn't give a shit about your customers or how much you spend?
Yeah.
You can clearly see the high relevance is highly rewarded.
How are those relevancy derived? What makes it high?
After 1,000 or 1,500 impressions, Facebook can actually tell if people engage, look at the ad, click on the ad. There's a whole algorithm that goes into it.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what it is, but you want to keep that relevancy score definitely above 8, definitely.
For the whole
So
thing.
anything like if you run an ad for 3 days and you're like, man, I'm getting 10-cent clicks and it's 3%, it's 3 relevancy, shut it down.
Ah.
Because it's an easy way to get your account shut down for not being relevant. And here's the thing. What basically Facebook's telling you is, hey, look, you are serving ads that our people just aren't interested in. And they don't want to serve ads on a platform that they don't want to serve ads to someone who may be uninterested.
Right.
Right? They want to serve ads that's only 100% congruent.
Gotcha. So just throwing ads up there, and when you hit your 8s, 9s, and 10s, you got winners, and filter out the others.
Yeah.
And get more traffic with those 8, 9s, and 10s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put your budget into those higher relevancy, lower cost per click. It's all the same people to make it.
Yep. Exactly right.
Okay. Fantastic.
Does that help?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
That was brilliant. No, I think I'm good, man. Thank you.
Okay. Peggy just mentioned in here that might be why she gets all notifications. I think you might be able to move it over to your profile, but I'm not sure how to do that.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't figure out either. Yeah.
Did you originally set up the fan page, or did she?
She did. I'm sure that's why the notifications were going to her. So I think it's going to take a day or two, or I get a notification. I think bumping her down to editor might have solved the problem. But I just
Maybe, yeah.
Throw that out there.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Good, absolutely. Good. Any other questions on here as well, too? Hey, Robert.
No, I think you can go
ahead,
on something else before my head explodes here.
Not a problem. I'll unmute Robert. Hang on one second. Unmute Robert. Hey, Robert.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good. Okay, so since last time, we talked about driving campaigns, driving likes.
Yep.
So I'm on your website, I mean on your social media at Genius course. I'm going through those steps. However, quick question. So in order to drive likes, are we talking about placing ads? Is this the only approach that you'd recommend to do that?
Can you restate your question, please? I didn't understand that.
Okay, so when it comes to last time when we spoke, I asked you for advice how to approach the Facebook advertising, let's call it, and creating a following. And one of the advice you gave me was driving likes. That's the first campaign I should be worried about. That's the first step.
First easy way to qualify your audience. Yes, if you combine likes with like an app like BuzzSumo, and make sure the right content's in front of people, that's really going to help you right away to get a good following and good qualified audience.
Okay. Okay. So because that's what I just what you just explained to Craig with regards to BuzzSumo and stuff, I think that also would be a helpful resource to achieve the same results. I definitely I can see that.
Absolutely.
So, but in your training, there's lots of there's focus on placing ads. Basically, is that another strategy that you actually recommend, or?
Say that one more time for me.
Okay.
Or could you restate that for me?
Okay. So, what would be the other approach to achieve the same results, which is getting likes, placing ads, or boosting any of the posting that we have? Because what I see in your training.
So basically, you want to run likes first, right? You want to run likes to qualify your audience, pre-qualify your audience, and then running boost posts of relevant content, like you can find on BuzzSumo or like through Google Alerts, right? Running relevant content to those likes will keep people engaged. And then what you do is you start sending people to like your website to opt in after you've built some rapport with those people. So what a lot of people do is they just send traffic directly to an opt-in page, and they don't do retargeting or focus on their avatar much. And what happens is it's just a lot of lost opportunity cost. So like, for instance, like we're just kind of using Craig's example, like if he was to target people who are interested in baseball and who are athletes or who claim themselves as athletes, right? That can help narrow down a target so the people who like his page, he knows have a good probability of at least being his qualified avatar, right? So as you start posting these articles then and doing these boost posts in front of these audiences, it's almost kind of like I look at a like or a qualified click as a soft opt-in. So not a full opt-in where I can email them. It's pretty close because if they're on my fan page, I can always run an ad to my fan page. If they land on my website, I can always retarget them, right? So I'm always looking for a way, what is the easiest way that I can engage with someone for the least amount of money? And typically, getting likes to your fan page first, that's going to allow you to test out your avatar and messaging the cheapest way possible. The second thing is qualifying, once you have those likes, qualifying the content by using something like BuzzSumo can really help because now you have qualified people on your page and you're getting engaging content. And then after you're engaging content, you start sending people over to your website because you know that they're qualified, they're engaged, and they're pretty much pre-qualified for your offer for what you're going to talk about. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. While I was going through the stuff in social media at Genius and thinking more about what I'm going to do to accomplish our goal of getting, I realized that becoming a bit of a challenge time-wise for me because I'm involved in so many other things. And Craig also mentioned that he's using somebody for outsourcing. Would that be a wise idea for, we have budget for ads and I was thinking about even hiring somebody to help me with that task. Is there anybody you can recommend, company, website, to help you with that marketing with Facebook or on Facebook?
What would you be looking for exactly? Would you want somebody to run all of your ads or someone to run to help kind of walk you through your ads? What would you be looking for?
Well, actually, I'd like to outsource as much as possible. So at this stage of the game, I'd like to have somebody with an understanding and that would advise me, but do the work as well. So advising is one story because it's lots of advice, but when sometimes it comes down to the details, how things has to be done, I'm, becoming a student and spending evenings, trying to figure things out. And that's becoming a little bit too much of a time-consuming issue for me. So I would prefer if there's somebody that would assist me with that.
Remind me again, what's the product price point that you're selling at?
So when it comes to spa, for example, it's from $100 to, let's say, $1,000.
Okay. And what's your monthly budget right now that you want to spend on ads?
Well, I stopped all the advertising like last year until I'm gonna start a new website, which is going to happen next week. And so again, the budget is like, I don't know, $1,000, I think. Like whatever it takes, you know, whatever it takes. If I have results, like I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion, it's always been, quite honestly, that I really do feel that if a business owner knows at least how to run like $1,000 test,
Mm-hmm.
and then it can be good to outsource. Like here's the problem, and just really open with you. Like with $1,000 budget, there's not a lot of people that I know that I would want to refer you to.
Okay.
That would charge you, I don't know, $250 to work with you for the month to run all your ads. Like I don't know anybody that would charge $250 to run all your ads. There maybe, but I just don't know anybody who does that because I know how much work it takes.
Okay.
And the thing is like it's like Craig and I had talked about this actually before you had joined. This is 5-6 weeks back, where it's like, hey, look, this is one of the first conversations Craig and I had, where I'm like, hey, look, it's actually a disservice if I show you where to go outsource it right away, right? This is why we go over numbers and stuff like that as we're going over Craig's account. And the reason is because if you don't know necessarily what buttons to hit or how to run a test, hiring an agency just means that the agency is only as good until you decide to work with that agency. Then you have to start all over from scratch, right? If you're able to, hey, look, I'm now spending $1,000 a month on my own. I know, like Craig, let's just say perfect example. Let's say that we just went over this. Craig's looking at his numbers. He may have somebody like an outsourcer that can help put together some ads. That's just kind of one of the things that you may need help with. Or hey, help me create 15 posts for this page just so you can copy and paste. Right? That's great. But if you know what numbers to look at, Craig can go to an agency like right now from the traffic he's running. He's like, hey, look, I have these 5 blog articles. I know if I run traffic to these 5 blog articles, it's between 5 to 10 cents a click. I know that I'm getting about $15 in opt-in after I've spent about $1,500. So here's what I want to be able to do. I'm going to find an agency that they're going to allow me to run, let's just say, $2,000 a month. Let's say $3,000 a month, right? We're going to spend $3,000 a month in ads because I roughly know my numbers, and I'm going to want them to get leads for me under $10. So it's not, hey, I'm hiring an agency to see what they can do, because I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent because I haven't really tested it myself. Right? So what I would recommend is kind of figure out and find out what do you feel is taking the most time. Because remember, the educational process is just going to happen once, and once you start to implement it, you'll never have to relearn it again. Right? So it just takes a little time up front, obviously a little bit. The thing is, I know a lot of people like to get started faster, and I've just worked with so many students who and I'm just being really open with you. Like people will call me. I had somebody call me a couple weeks ago, and they're like, Kurt, I haven't run any traffic to my funnel yet. Like I'm just building a website, very much like what you're saying, right? Yes. I'm just building out a website. Okay, great. Well, I want to hire your agency because all I want to do is be creative. Okay, but I have full-time staff for this. Like, do you know what your numbers are? Well, no. We got to talk about building a website. We got to figure out what I want to do. We got to talk about strategy. And we're going to talk about a lot of topics that they don't have any ownership in or know how to control or influence it. So they start all over anytime that they engage with another agency. So if I can show you at least some of the basic buttons to hit so you can manage $1,000 a month, then what can happen is you can hire agencies and you're very cut dry. You're like, look, I know how much my clicks are. I know what my click-through rate should be. You just need to beat that. And we're going to talk on a regular basis on how this is working, and you're going to know what to expect, right? Because what happened, and this is why I love doing these kind of calls with Todd's group and with you guys, is because, again, just kind of jump back to Craig, even though he's had someone who's now running his ads some, right, he can at least look in and be like, no, relevance score, no, this is below 6, you need to turn that off. Oh, this right here has a 10, look, this is 10-cent clicks, this is 30-cent clicks. Why didn't you turn this off? Versus I don't know where to look, I don't know where to click. So it's kind of like I don't know why, Craig, we're just going to talk about you the whole time like you're here. But But like when Craig's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm like, yeah, you do. Click on the link right there because you always want to know where the data is so you can know how to manage it. You don't have to be the expert, but like, I don't know if you know anything about cars. I know very little about cars. So when I take my car into the mechanic, sometimes when I describe something, it takes me longer to describe it, to have him kind of diagnose it. I don't know if he takes advantage of me. I have no idea I have blinker fluid in my blinkers, right? Which is made up, and I just would have no idea. But I know a little bit about cars because I used to have to fix my Camaro all the time when I was 16 years old. So when I walk in, I at least know the basic terminology if someone's going to sell me something and what they're going to do. And that's really what you're looking for.
Well,
so if you're running a little bit of the what's that?
Yeah, you're breaking my heart because I was looking for an easy way out. But
it's kind of like people are like, can I run faster? Yes, you can take steroids and do cocaine. But when your heart explodes, it's not going to help you for a lifetime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're so right. So what I'm doing right now, which is going through that training and getting acquainted and listening to, being on those calls and getting the little tips, and that that social retargeting pro. I scroll down and it says here that this guy, this person, or this company, it says that it's sold out. Like I couldn't find the pricing on it. Do you know anything about that?
Does it say sold out? I can ask him. Does it say sold out?
Yeah, it's like, unless there is somewhere this pricing hidden, but I don't think he would do that.
No, let me ask him. I don't know why. Yeah, let me ask him. I'll send out an email about it.
Also,
I'll send you guys an email about it.
When it comes to, I came across I signed up for there's a couple of services that I came across and signed up for one of them, Post Planner, I believe that's the name of that service. I'm getting emails, and they research content, because last time also what you told me I should be posting 3 times a day. 3 times a day. So I'm good for a week or 2. But week 4, 5, and 6, I know when I'm busy with other stuff, and the girls at the spa are busy also, because they're always busy with something. I was wondering, would that make sense, or is there a service that you recommend, like the one I just mentioned, Post Planner, that they claim that they do research and help you to post, schedule posting, etc. The content that is relevant to your industry. So, for example, we're in the spa, so guys, wellness, and they pull out the wellness content that is viral, and I can kind of move it to or start posting on my side using their little algorithm, whatever, something that catches those or finds those important contents.
I don't know any services like that per se. I'm familiar with Post Planner. I mean, I do look at BuzzSumo, but I don't know an automatic process that curates. Like, I've heard of that
yourself, but at least they find you, and you just pretty much you can set it up. Okay, this post, okay, I like, boom, 3 times, this week, or another article 5 times, boom. So I've noticed that. Okay, so you're aware of Post Planner, so I'm gonna maybe do some more research and see if that really makes sense. But there's no such thing that would do this on kind of. Are you aware, like that? You're aware of a service that would do this on semi-automatic kind of?
Yeah, I don't know about any of that. I don't know about a service like that, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I unfortunately I just don't know.
Okay, so now then you told me about the likes, so I'm gonna go back to studying more and more to get that under control and have maybe the I
mean, the main thing is really, I mean, just even 15 or 20 minutes a day and just taking small little action steps, like just running a like campaign, right? And just testing 2 likes. And then looking at BuzzSumo,
yes,
and maybe finding, a couple of articles that you can run. Because the thing that's a little bit different, like again, we'll go over to Craig's example, is because we're looking for some keywords like mental toughness, and it's not a whole lot of things that people Google on, but you're talking about a spa. Like you have so many options for health and wellness and treatment and options and articles talking about health and wellness. So you have a lot of opportunity there.
Yes.
A lot of good relevant local content.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help?
Yes.
I know it's not the most favorite answer, but it's the best answer I can give you.
So what you're doing there in is it San Diego, you said?
Yeah, there's a conference here called Traffic and Conversion. It's put on by digital marketers. About 3,500 people here. Yep.
Awesome. Do you speak there or just?
No, all my it's basically like one big family reunion for me. So I'm not on stage, but all my friends are on stage, or my friends are running the event, and it's just where a bunch of us just get back together from all over the world. We just haven't seen in a long time.
Oh, I see. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But before you run, so when it comes to that website, that social retargeting pro software, because if it's sold out and you've mentioned that you'll speak to that person, how can we get in touch? Should we wait till next month, or we can do somehow maybe get a faster answer from you if you get any?
I just sent him a text message just to see if it's sold out. I'll see if I can get a link. If I don't hear back from him, or if you're watching the recording, you can just send me an email, kurt@blackboxsocialmedia.com, so I can follow up.
Okay.
So kurt@blackboxsocialmedia.com. And put it in here. So kurt@blackboxsocialmedia.com. There you go. Yeah, but I'll see if he's gonna. Oh, he's texting me back. Let's see what he says here real quick. And we have. Yeah, he's still typing, but I'll find out here quickly. Does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, here he goes. Oh, it shouldn't be. Sorry, it must be on one page. Still sells, so I know it's a live page. Just a minute. So, Social Targeting Pro. I think that's what it's called. It's never been so easy. I think we have this, because I was in targeting. Let me see here real quick. Targeting Pro. Yeah. Okay. This is the link that said sold out. I found it on the Google. Yeah, I think this is it. It's so weird. Oh, this is Social Targeting Pro. Wait a minute. Whoops. Just a second. This is weird. This is someone that. Sorry. This is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait until he. Yeah, I'm not finding the right pricing one. I just landed on a thing that says Social Targeting Pro, not Social Retargeting Pro, which is weird. Yeah, I'll have to wait until he sends me back a text message. So if you can just send me a follow-up email, so I have your email address so I can send it out.
Okay.
It'd be easy.
Okay, no problem, Kurt.
Yeah, because I'm just not. I'm going to see one more link. Let me see here. Because he hasn't responded back. He's probably in a meeting. Login register. Try one more thing. No, I'm not able to find the right link. Yeah, it just isn't working for some reason. I'll try one more thing. Look at box digital products. Nope, I'm not able to get into. Yeah, send me an email on that. Oh, he's messaging me back right now, so I may find this just quickly. Yeah, I know Jesse probably set up a new link, and he'll send it to me. Okay. Cool. /plugin. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to send you the link once I confirm it. I think that's it. Perfect. Got it. Thank you. All right. And put it in the chat. There we go. So socialretargetingpro.com /plugin. For some reason it wasn't working. Does that help?
Fantastic. It's coming. So, Kurt, one last question. Actually, I just came across this Facebook for Business website. And is that mandatory to be efficient, or I can just stick to what I'm doing with placing ads through just my Facebook account the way I did it before? Is it more helpful, would you say, using Facebook for Business and having an account there, or because I never did? So.
It doesn't really matter. If you're just running your personal stuff right now, just run it through your personal account. It's fine. You don't have to get a Facebook Business account.
Okay. Good. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good question. Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking today about the retargeting pro.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? Tegan, Jeff, I know you're still here. You have any questions?
I do. I have a quick question, Kurt.
Yes, ma'am. How can I help?
So we've done, talking about the webinars, Jeff has done like four webinars, didn't sell anything. So what we were, at the end of last year, we polled our list and got their input on what they wanted. And so we thought we would try doing a webinar training on what they're actually asking for. But we thought about selling it rather than doing the free webinar and then trying to do the upsell later, but just sell it on the front end and be done. Do you have any thoughts on the price point that we should offer it at?
Are you talking about selling the webinar itself?
Yeah.
So here's a couple of different ways that you can do it, just a couple of different ideas. So, the webinar itself, are we talking a webinar training that you would then sell something on? Like, this would be like $27 to join the webinar, and then you would sell something on the webinar, or would it be a training on the webinar and you're just selling the quote-unquote training, which is the webinar? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It would just be selling the webinar itself. One of the things that they said that they wanted is, how to survive the, I don't remember exactly, but basically the affair survival mode. They just found out about the affair. They're devastated. They're traumatized. What do they do? So it would just be the training, no upsell, no selling anything else on the webinar.
How long would the training be?
Probably 60 to 90 minutes.
60 to 90 minutes. Would this be like an introductory product? for you all, like to help move to the next part of the funnel, or?
I don't know. See, our funnel sucks. We're actually at this point, we're just trying to do something to bring in some cash.
Okay. So here's a couple of things. The first thing is what you may want to do, completely up to you, is one of the things like I'm doing with the Profit Factories, right, is I'm recording, there's 12 steps to the Profit Factory. There's 4 keystones. So we're now really talking like 16 different trainings. So that's why I host a training a week, so I can record and document everything. And like I said, it's a free webinar, but they don't get to watch the recording. So I tell people, for instance, like, hey, here's how retargeting works, but I'm not talking them left click, right click, right? I'm giving them the concept. So I'm trying to figure out how I can kind of do an analogy, because I don't know your industry, like how you both support people to like, so here's a couple of things. One, you can always have a free webinar training that you get people to show up for, but you clearly say there are no recordings unless you're a part of our, whatever your continuity model is, right, or your membership model, unless you're part of our support group for $19 a month. I was just talking to a guy last night, Telvin Knudsen, who I'm sharing a house with. He's a world-renowned hypnotist, and he does a lot of meditations, and he does a lot of hypnosis recordings on, like, how to lose weight, how to stop smoking, stuff like that. And what he was talking about is he built a business off of $27 a month. $17 a month. $200,000 a month that he was making off this. And basically what it was is he would have these free webinars and say, hey, if you want the recordings, and if you want, I'm going to make this up, if you want just step-by-step documents, then you just have to be a member for $19, let alone all the content we're going to give you is worth $100 or $200. It's yours for just $17 a month, and you cancel it anytime. So it's a low price point, but you constantly have revenue coming in versus one-time shots. So one idea is free. Yep, and then get the recording, because people want recording and support, right?
Right.
So I'm not quite sure how it works with your group. Like, I don't know if people are comfortable being in a Facebook group, or if they could message you just one-on-one. Like, I don't know, like, how that would necessarily work from a privacy standpoint, or what people are willing to share in public versus in private.
Yeah, on Facebook, they're not willing to share. We've had a Fair Recovery Facebook group for over 2 years, and I think we just hit 100 members. So, and that's even after, paid promotion. Plus, Facebook doesn't like it. So, so that part's really. And then, we've got a blog, and he's very prolific. We probably have close to 2,400 blog posts, 2,400 blog posts. I'm wondering if we've just got too much information that's for free. Because it's not just the same old regurgitated stuff over and over and over. It's different, topics of the day.
Now, are you sending any traffic to any of these blog posts and retargeting any of the traffic to different blog posts?
Well, it's all affair related, and Facebook doesn't like it.
Even if you were to run it to just the blog post, the article?
If it says affair, and if it goes to surviveyourpartnersaffair.com, that's when they shut us down before. I'm scared to talk to them.
Because it's one thing to send people to a landing page that says, have you had an affair, click here, opt in, join our conference call, versus like reading an article of, have you ever been through an affair, or what to do when going through an affair, and then read the full article with, like, a banner on the side, like we were looking at Chris's or at Craig's, that says, like, click here, find out more, download our ebook, find out our 5 easy steps. I kind of, like I was telling you before, like in my own personal life, is I remember, you deal with this all the time, or with these people all the time, but I remember I was in shell shock. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to tell anybody. But if I was to see, for example, like after I met both you guys, maybe a video of Jeff, or maybe if I saw a video of both of you, and I don't know if you're open to this or not, But it's like, hey, we talked to hundreds of people, and we know how it feels, and we know that some people are embarrassed and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to announce it out on Facebook. Well, we can give you a really quick, easy, downloadable 7-step system to help you start to recover from some of the grief or some of the pain. And then once they opt in, I would even see like a different video of, hey, this is the way we additionally help people. They would offer them another product or service. But I would download a checklist. I would download something that I could read on my own that would be really private, that would start to help me just a little bit, but isn't a total solution. So I don't know if I don't want to say that there's too much content on your blog. Just because a lot of times what will happen is people will read and they'll want to find out more information from the hook that's on the side. So I'm trying to figure out, do you have Google Analytics set up on your blog?
We do.
Do you know that when users come to your blog, like organically, do you see them making 4, 5, 6 hops or visiting 5 or 6 different of your articles when they get on your site?
Yeah, we get, I don't know, 60 to 80 organic people a day. I mean, it's not huge, but it's 60 to 80. And, how long do they stay on there? Like 4 or 5 minutes?
Sometimes as much as 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, sometimes they stay on as much as 7 or 8 minutes. I think the average is closer to 4 minutes. So, I mean, they don't come and leave. They stick around, but they're not doing anything once they get there.
Okay. Let me think through this. What? So we have the free webinar and then the paid recordings. We have, what do you feel is your best solution that you can assist someone through this process? Is it talking to them on the phone? Is it, like in a group? Is it training? Is it documents and processes? If I were to put a couple in front of you he just found out she had an affair, and if they were sitting right in front of you, what processes would you start immediately to assist them?
That's yours.
That's a complicated question.
I know.
I'd send them to the workshop.
So let's just say the guy's breaking down in front of you. He's crying. The girl's right there. So let's say your webinar is coming up in just a little bit of a conference. Is there anything that you could maybe give them to read right away if they were sitting in front of you before they would go to your webinar? Like what? Because obviously you can't talk to them one-on-one, unfortunately. What may be something you might offer advice?
Well, I've got several ebooks that all deal with different aspects.
Question: does it help if you were to come up with like 5 or 6 survey questions to lead people to one of your different ebooks to help out with a solution? Would that help?
I've done a variation of that. With this book is for you if A, B, C, X, Y, Z.
So here's like just a thought, and you may have already tried this before, but like if I come to your site and I'm distraught and I happen to find an article, and on the right-hand side, it says maybe it says something to the effect, like in a banner ad that would say 7 simple questions to identify the quickest way for you to recover, through this point, or something like that. And then I would answer the 7 questions, and it would take me over to an ebook that had to deal about my girlfriend having an affair on me in an early relationship. I'm just making that up. Could you have something like that where people, like, I feel that if I'm answering those 7 questions, I'm hoping to get to some kind of resolution? Kind of like to find your answer to the quiz without saying the quiz. Help relieve stress by answering these 7 simple questions, or help relieve some of the anxiety by these 7 simple questions, and then it leads into a book. Would something like that help?
I don't have it broken down that simply.
Okay.
It's due to the nature of the topic, it does not break down so easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Is
I mean,
there?
if I was dealing with, like anxiety or stress management or some topic like that, yeah, that I could do that.
Okay.
And I've in the past, a lot of times what they want to do, they want, for lack of a better term, they want to tell their story, and they ideally like to tell it to me, but I don't want to get on the phone and do any type of counseling with them. I know that sounds terrible, but it eats up a lot of time and it's not cost effective.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, which is interesting, something you just said is I watched a documentary, and I think it was called Call Center. And what it did is it examined, I don't know if we talked about this before, it examined the difference between suicidal hotlines, porn hotlines, and like other hotlines for like kind of like, hey, if you're having this kind of crisis, call in. And like the moral of the story through anywhere from like the suicidal hotlines to the porn hotlines to whatever, they just wanted to be listened to. That was it. So it's really interesting in how you say that. So I'm trying to think is how could I tell my story at that time and feel good to get some feedback without having to talk to you directly? It kind of sounds mean to say, but it's like it's not cost effective, because I know when you have somebody go through that, like they can go on and on and on and on and on and talking about the same thing. They just need to kind of voice it and get it out.
Yeah, and on that same vein, a lot of times people will just email him, and he might spend an hour and a half on his response back to them. And then they'll email him again and he'll do the same thing for nothing. So, he says he doesn't want to get on the phone and do it, but he'll certainly do it via email.
One of the things I do, just an idea, people really like it, is I use Jing videos, and like I record a small part of my screen. So like I've taken to a blog post, but the Jing videos, they only last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's effective or not, but an idea is I can get a lot out in 5 minutes and people can hear my voice and inflection.
Oh,
they can hear that I care. It's like, wow. It's like, hey, I read over your story, and I just want to tell you, wow, I feel maybe that could be it. So let me think about this for a second. So here's kind of an idea. Go ahead.
What's the pros and cons to that?
Just listen.
There's a girl named Bree that I've worked with, and what she does is Bree helps singers get more in their passion of singing for a full-time income versus like waiting tables and singing on the side, hoping singing's going to take off. And what she does is she shows people how they can do like these private in-house performances. So to get people acclimated and ready, she actually has them send in a song that she listens to and rates. So she just sends stuff in, and she's actually legally blind. So one of her superpowers is listening, and then she'll speed it up 5 times and just give feedback to the person like in a Jing video. So it could take her 5 or 6 minutes to listen to a song and then reply back with a Jing video. So maybe it takes 5 or 10 minutes total. I'm trying to think how someone could tell their story and you would be able to reply back to say, hey, I understand. I've talked to a couple the same way. I feel really bad when so-and-so did this to you or this happened. I would strongly encourage you to come to our, our presentation that we're going to have this week. Do you feel, I'm just curious, Jeff, do you feel at all that you could assist someone in kind of 5 minutes of feedback and then encouraging them, like if they were qualified, and then encouraging them to attend the next upcoming workshop? Like, do you feel that you could connect with them to help move them to action if it was less than 5 minutes? or do you feel that would just overload you for the day? Because right now we're only talking about 80 people, a couple people a day maybe filling out information.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. 5 minutes, that doesn't sound like a lot. I have my doubts. Because that does not give much time, that does not give much time to go ahead and connect with them and give them direction. And part of my concern is this. You know, like for instance, Peggy's right when she talks about it takes, you know, sometimes takes me a while to craft a response.
Yeah.
The thing is, I still have a license behind my name.
You get rid of that.
I want to get rid of that. And because of that, I have to be careful what I say and not leading them on.
Okay.
And, you know, even though I may not be considering my response any type of counseling, I've got to think about it in terms if it ended up in a courtroom, what would a jury call it?
Okay. Thank you for that distinction. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, it sounds, the idea, I like the idea, but I've got to look at it from a lot of different angles before I can go for it.
Yep, I completely understand. Thank you for that insight. I think I have to kind of think on this one just a little bit more, because what I hear you saying is I understand the legal ramifications. Thank you for that distinction. Being careful about your license, completely understand that. Having someone wanting to tell their story, and you want to be able to provide service, but not professional, you know, not where the line of professional counseling. I understand that. Trying to think of a way, and I may just have to kind of think on this one, like, and just kind of ask around for some ideas. I'm trying to think of what I would do or how I would act on what kind of information I would want to see to help me start to feel that, start to get past this, you know, this moment. Yeah, I need to think about this just a little bit, if you don't mind.
No, I understand.
I do this too.
You see, like for instance, the workshop I'm going to be presenting is the affair recovery mode. Because in some cases, people go into shock on hearing the news of the affair, and this weird state of overreaction and being hyper alert can last for months, if not years, and they want to know how to get out of it. Sometimes the litter is they want to know how to deal with the line, or they may want to know whether or not they should confront the other person, or they just discovered that it's not just one affair, it's a lot of affairs. So I don't have one quick fix answer because they have all kinds of different needs. If I had a one size fits all, that would be nice.
Yeah.
And the workshop is the closest thing to a one size fits all because they all need to go through that process. But the questions that come up are, for lack of a better term, at different points in the process, and so they require different answers. And so what we're thinking about is looking at doing some monthly workshops, charging, like a menu item for these workshops, and these would just be pure information dealing with whatever topic that is. Not trying to upsell them on anything else, because since they paid money on the front end, they get that product.
What about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we tried doing the workshops and we had a good turnout of doing them free and then using the last 10 minutes to go ahead and try to sell them on other products. We get a good turnout. A lot of people want the recordings afterwards, but nobody buys.
So what about just an age-old idea reinvented? What about if you did like I could imagine on your blog like a little a banner ad. What happens if you did a weekly show where you trained on 2 or 3 points, answered questions for, let's just say I'm going to make this up. Let's just say it's a 30-minute show. So you go over a little training for 15 minutes, answer questions for 15 minutes, or maybe it's a half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever. But you answer questions for 10, 15 minutes, and you're just always politely reminding people, hey, one of the things I really suggest is everybody has different, just to use your language, people just go through different situations at different times, and they require different things to assist them. One of the best things that I can assist you with is not only answering your questions here in just a short amount of time, but unfortunately, I can't do you justice right here and answer the questions for, for hours and hours. One of the best things I recommend to everybody to do is to go through one of our workshops. Next workshop we're going to have is actually coming up in 2 weeks. So we build for your monthly workshop. But I mean, they've done call-in shows forever. What would be the difference kind of if you did the same thing with a Google Hangout or a webinar where they can anonymously just come on and ask you a question or two after a couple of training topics? Would something like that work?
Possibly.
I'm kind of thinking Frasier.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm willing to.
Well, I'm going back to the part of they want to tell their story. So obviously they're not going to be able to tell you their whole story, but to hear your voice and to kind of, I've seen this hundreds of times. Like, unfortunately, you're probably on this call right now going through things that I know are really tough to deal with. I've assisted lots of people. Let me give you just a couple of points. And it could be different training topics from different people that you talk through the week, right? It's kind of what I do on some of my training topic calls. Hey, here's 3 things that can assist you. And then I just would politely say, hey, one of the best ways that I can assist you is to have you participate in one of our workshops. It is just 2 weeks away or 3 weeks away. And it's going to be one of the greatest things that I can do to help. But if nothing else, we have lots of blogs on our site as well that you can look through, but it's one of the best ways that I can assist people, and that's why I've set this up and we do it once a month. But you're there for just a weekly basis for people to build rapport with, learn a little bit more about you. But I don't think it should be like an hour or 90-minute show or anything like that, but just something that provides some value but allows people to connect with you personally for a short amount of time before they go to the workshop. I don't know, just an idea.
It could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, here's the other thing. Is it appropriate if I say doctor? Call you doctor,
No.
Is that right?
No, it's just Jeff.
Well, if you want to, you can, but that's...
He's not a doctor.
Well, I'm just saying, it could be a banner on the right-hand side, weekly life Q&A and a fair recovery training, Wednesdays at 6.
Fair Recovery Radio.
That's his podcast.
What's that?
A podcast. It's called A Fair Recovery Radio, which is just...
Is that yours or someone else's?
Yeah, it's just like 10 or 12-minute trainings.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, something like that where I'm just thinking of somewhere live where they can just hear your voice just a little bit. And if I could hear your voice say, I feel sorry for you, or not I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry for the situation you're in. I understand. I work with hundreds of other people just like you. I really want to help. One of the best ways I can is, and then you tell me your solution. I just want to hear that you understand, and you've heard of these stories hundreds of times.
Yeah, there's something comforting about hearing a voice.
Exactly. My parents were divorced when I was younger, when I was in the 4th grade, and my mom had to go through, different counseling things, and I'm just kind of like, it always bugged me as a kid. I'm like, I don't need to go talk to anybody, but it was actually really nice because I got to hang out with other people and just have a conversation. And quite honestly, one of the most comforting things I just remember is, hey, you're just with other kids where their parents are divorced. Like it's rough, but check this out. We all have this little great community. And I know it's really hard on the affair side. Like when that happened to me, like I don't want to hang out with any community with a bunch of other people who had an affair. I just know, but I would like to hear your voice and ask you 1 or 2 questions, privately read some stuff or attend a webinar so I can help figure it out on my own. But you're there for me. I just don't talk to you directly, but you're there for me. Something like that.
So I'll have to do some thinking about that. It's got potential.
Yeah. Because that could be something that you could run. I bet you could even run Google ads to something like that. I'd have to do some research, but it'd be interesting to do some Googling and kind of just find out like when you are talking about like affair recovery, and just see if anybody's running any ads.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gives you hope, and you're like, well, wait a minute, because if you have Google Analytics set up, even if you only have 80 people, have you had Google Analytics set up for the last couple of months at least?
Oh yeah, the last several years.
Oh, well, you may have some data in there on what articles people read the most, or what kind of demographic is.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd be. So that can maybe give you some really good targeting data just for Google, as long as you can find other companies that are advertising using AdWords to run people back to the blog. And then once you kind of figure out the traffic, right, that you can actually run consistent traffic because you see somebody else does. And then it's just figuring out what's the relevant content. And of course your solution. I think the relevant content comes in just, again, hearing Jeff's voice that, hey, it's going to be okay, I understand. I just don't know what format that would be.
Yeah, I may have to go back to the drawing board and think, maybe do the workshop live or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, like I said, my main thing was, how do I tell my story? How do I hear that it's okay? And how do I get access to information right now that can start helping me feel better, that at least I have something to look forward to next? Right? Well, at least on Thursday I'm going to hear this, or at least in 2 weeks I'm going to get this. Because I mean, really, as we go, we go through stuff, is one of my coaches that I work with and a really good friend, his name's Jesse. He's like, people only want one thing, just one. Everyone universally does, just one. Everyone just wants to be better. That's it. And I'm like, that's so true.
That makes it so simple.
That's so simple. Exactly. And I remember, when my dad had told me, when I told him about the affair, he's like, time heals all wounds. And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I have heard at this point, right? Don't worry, just sit there and time will solve it, right? It just didn't make any sense. But when someone was like, hey, I've been through kind of the same thing, like here's kind of what I did. What's your thoughts? That really helped me out a lot. And then, of course, understanding later, hey, it's not your fault. This had nothing to do with you. That was always really important too.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has given us some things to think about.
Yeah, because we felt like we were hitting a wall there with only a couple of options. This gives us many more.
That's good.
You still haven't told us an idea about what we need to charge for the webinar.
If we decide to do that.
Well, see, the thing is like, if I think, again, myself in the situation, I don't know if I would pay $27 or $37 or $47 or even $20 or $17 to attend a webinar. But if I heard your voice, and let's just say it's, the weekly show or whatever, if I heard your voice and you're just like, hey, I strongly encourage you, and we don't charge counseling fees or anything else. We have a really low, so I can help more people. We have a really low introductory rate of $27 for you to come onto a webinar, and for 90 minutes we'll train, and we're going to give you some really good valuable points. That would make sense to me. Having a sales page that says, hey, here's why you should buy it, probably not as much, because it doesn't seem like it's an immediate relief. I want to know, what can I do to start feeling better right away? Is it a video from you? If it is, now I'm building rapport with you. Great. But I want to figure out, what can I do to stop the pain right away? Well, not stop, or at least help alleviate some of the pain. And then I want to build a big case or reason why that attending the webinar or the workshop is going to be vitally important for me to continue to get better. So I don't know if that can be explained in a sales page or if that's explained in a video from you. But if it's like, if I see 1 or 2 videos from you and I understand that this isn't my fault, that there are processes that you have developed that are time and tested, that can help relieve anxiety, that can help rebuild trust, some of these major issues, help have a good, sustained relationship. I remember when I went to counseling for the affair, the counselor basically said, hey, look, I'm going to do 1 or 2 things. Either I'm going to help you stay together or I'm going to help you split apart in the most peaceful way. But I don't know what that is yet, and you guys don't know that yet either. But we're going to figure that out together, and we're all going to support each other's decision. That, to me, was like, oh, wow, it's not just me against her or her against me. We were all going to do this together. And that was a big turning point for me.
Yeah. Well, something you said, because I was talking with Peggy just the other day, and I was totally frustrated with sales pages. You've revised, long ones, and I made the suggestion that we just may need to just get rid of the sales page and do something different. I mean, the whole idea of putting a couple of videos introducing things and why it's important might be better than a sales page.
I think so. If I heard your voice and I saw you say again, I've helped hundreds of other people, I understand. That's huge. Because honestly, like when I was going through all that stuff, I wasn't really reading much. Like I was searching, but I was scroll. So if you have, 2,400 blog articles, click. I just don't feel that there's a solution. But if you're telling me there's a solution and I'm watching a video, right? Go to one, like I love the videos on lead pages where you can watch one video, then you go to the next one, then you go to the next one. And the 4th video is like, hey, here's one of the best ways that I can help people. Click here. Let's register for my next, register for my upcoming event. But I've watched 3 videos of you that are 3 to 4 minutes long, and every time I click, it's just another commitment. So something like that, I think, could do really well too.
Okay, that's a good idea. You're taking us in directions we never expected.
That's good. You never know what's going to happen when you show up to calls. It's good. That helps.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
Any other questions? Anything else I can help with?
I don't think so. We just have to try something different, and we needed ideas. So this has definitely given us a place to start.
Awesome.
So
Well,
thank you.
Good. Absolutely. Well, you all have a great, amazing night, and I'll get the recording uploaded here later today.
Sounds good. You too, and enjoy traffic and conversion.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.
You too.
All right.
Bye.